Hello, and welcome to Against the Shadow, episode 3. Would someone like to recap last episode, if you remember what happened? I'll give you inspiration for it. If not, I can do it.
I'm sorry, I have
Look
no
at these
idea.
dedicated players remembering what happened last time.
It's like, what happened? I don't remember. I remember bits of it. Yeah, you go.
Go on, after you.
I refuse. I spoke too much already. You go.
I mean, I've got 2 pages of notes I could read off. But if you remember something, go for it.
Oh my god.
No, go on.
Okay.
Okay.
So, as I recall, we were we ended up getting into another fight. Okay, we ended up going in, trying to maintain some kind of cover, and then Nar, our dwarven brethren, basically, thought, screw this, I'm a dwarf, I'm not going to be able to maintain this subterfuge anymore, and attacked. We subsequently got into a really vicious fight with some warg riders, and let's be honest, we're good, but we kind of scraped by, barely got out of it alive. But not before more wargs were summoned with one of their wretched horns. And Nar, and I believe it was Cineric, decided to run off in different directions, sounding horns to try and lure them away as the rest of us made our escape. The majority of us anyway, managed to get to the Rangers of Gondor,
Of Henneth Anun.
Thank you. Who have told us a bit more about these mines as well, and a figure known as the Black Luminorian, or that's how we know him anyway. We managed to regroup, but we didn't manage to regroup with Nar, and there was a particularly epic description of potentially Nar's final stand, and that's all I can remember. So.
Yeah, you basically had been harried for the whole session by warg riders, not getting a break, afraid to light a fire, but then it was too cold not to light a fire, and it was just misery. You were fleeing constantly. And in the end, Nar decided he would sacrifice himself for the good of the rest of the party. And he ran in one direction, blowing a horn, while the rest of you fled towards Henneth Anun. Nar was caught, and mysterious things have followed since. But you are now at Henneth Anun. You were speaking to Throndir, who is the leader of the Rangers here. Seemingly once beautiful and elf-blooded, but now ruined and scarred. And he had said to you that you can take 3 Rangers with you, and you can go to the mines as swiftly as possible. And so you set out almost immediately towards these mines.
I also thought I'd just mention we got most of our intel from the mines because we were caught up by a slave that we thought had escaped, but it was actually a decoy, if you remember, and that's what started it all off.
Yes.
So we were tricked by that was in league with the orc folk.
Yeah. Does that mean I get half inspiration, but only you're doing half of it?
You can have inspiration.
Killed him.
Caius, I think your mic is like positioned in a way that it's catching every time you breathe out, and it's quite loud. Yeah, no worries. Okay, so yeah, you guys are now on horseback, riding as swiftly as you can through the woods to get to these mines. The Rangers are leading you there, as they know the way. They've been here a few times and have taken a look. It's maybe 3 or 4 hours of riding through the woods. There's no attacks this time. With the Rangers leading you, they know the secret paths, and you don't get hassled, or you don't hear the sound of many horns even. It seems the orcs are happy with their prize. But it would be some time later that you would arrive at a certain place, a sort of glade, where the Rangers would say, or Elwyn would say, we must leave our horses here. We'll have to continue on foot if we want to be quiet.
Now, I think probably one of the first signs of affection you're going to see from him is from Cynric is the fact that he doesn't knock her out for thinking that he can abandon his horse, considering he has dragged it everywhere else. So he's going to, I don't know, if they start to dismount or something, he's going to pull up like almost offended. And he's been like, the entire time they've been riding, like, he's usually quite observant of the terrain around him, but if you're an observant character, you can probably tell that his attention is very much on Elwyn. And he might have even caught a smile, which is not very usual for Cynric.
Faroth looks over to Cynric and says, "Come now, Cynric, you couldn't possibly expect Ciaro to follow you into this godforsaken place, would you?"
Rohirrim doesn't abandon his horse. We've taken them through hell and back.
A horse is not abandoned here.
Standing guard.
Arvindor, one of the rangers, says this is a safe place. There's no mark of the shadow here. The orcs have never been here. They don't know it exists. It's hidden from their sight somehow. The horses will be safe.
He is vastly uncomfortable with this suggestion, but he will dismount and then start whispering, like with his forehead pressed against Ciaro's, like whispering in Rohirrim or sort of ancient horse tongue or something like that, just to try and commune with the beast. See that she's calm and safe, and that I shall return.
Yeah, initially she does seem confused as you dismount, and people seem to be wanting to leave. This is not usual for Ciara to see, but you are able to calm her with your words.
He's not going to like tie her up or anything. He's going to expect her to, if they get attacked, to run in whichever direction. But he is stiff of back, and his hand is tight on his axe. He's vastly uncomfortable walking anywhere.
In this time, Faroth is going to look to one of the rangers, and knowing that he probably won't get much more of an answer than he did from Thorondir, he says, "Have any of your number ever entered these mines before and returned to tell anything of them? Is there anything that you might be able to tell us before we delve inside?"
No. We generally don't come here. We keep an eye on the place, but from what we know, it's heavily fortified and there are many orcs within.
Can you see on the path leading up to there whether they have brought a dwarf prisoner this way recently?
We can see. So both of the wanderers are welcome to make a survival check, and Arvindor will do the same thing.
Oh, well. Are we rolling real dice, or for own time's sake, are we using bones?
Whatever.
And as Cynric goes off, Beragond leans into Syrian and sort of indicates the way Cynric's walking and says, "I see now why he always stays on that horse. Look at the way he walks." But he just says it in a low voice.
Maybe it is a type of boisterous Rohirrim walk.
He's worse than a
I've
sailor.
not seen it before, though.
I'm pretty sure I have like advantages in perception in my known lands. I'm not sure if I hear that or not. But
with the 20 Faroth, you can see that there has been something dragged up this path. You can see like a clear sort of rut, basically, where like the feet have been dragged along. Whether it's a dwarf or not is impossible to know, but it seems most likely.
Something was dragged here, perhaps divots in armor. They could very well have brought him here, but if they brought him here, then it would likely mean that he still lives. No use in bringing a dead dwarf back unless they were to And Farrell sort of trails off as his mind goes to some of the more horrid things that orcs are known for doing.
Then there is still hope. We must move quickly.
If there's any way to rescue that Nar, I'm willing to sacrifice my life for it. And they say dwarven armor is worth a silver piece for every link.
More than that, we owe him.
I agree.
Let us hope the price will not be our lives.
Let us hope.
So Elwyn begins to lead you up this hill through the woods. It becomes a bit more sparse as you begin to walk. Less thick forest and more sort of scrubland until you can kind of finally see properly clearly these mountains, huge mountains. These are the Mountain of Shadow. They are the ring of iron that protects Mordor, or maybe protects Middle-earth, who knows. But somehow there is this perfect ring of mountains around Mordor with only 2 passes known. The Black Gate, which is far from where you are now, and the pass of Minas Ithil, now Minas Morgul, which was once the site of a great city, but now has fallen to shadow. But here you can see, after perhaps another hour of walking quietly through, you can see this enormous entrance, maybe 50 feet wide, 30 feet high, wooden sort of beams and columns holding up this sort of entrance to a mine. And in front of it, there are sort of wooden spikes in the ground facing outwards, a sort of protective wall. And inside there, you can see 5 orcs, some of them sitting, some of them walking around, keeping an eye on what's going on. You can also see hanging from the rafters of this huge entranceway 11 hanged people.
How many are hanged?
There's 11 there that have been hanged.
And are they fresh?
Some of them, some are rotten and eaten by crows, but some are relatively fresh.
That stench in the air.
It's a stench that Faroth is all too familiar with. And Lloyd, Faroth is going to attempt something that he doesn't do often. But are we actually quite close to the entrance of this mine then, did you say?
Yeah, you're probably 100 feet or so out, hidden in the tree line.
So Faroth is going to reach out to perhaps some of a jutting rock face that's near the entrance, perhaps. And he's actually going to use something known as Rumour of the Earth, where he presses his ear to it. And with a survival check, if I make 15, I get some slight details of perhaps movement nearby. If I get 25, which is unlikely, I get very clear details about what we can expect down there.
Awesome.
So here we go. Oh, no. No, don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a skill that needs more training, it seems.
Syrian, you are better read in the ways of the ancient men. Are there any signs of that this is made by the men of Gondor, or is this purely an orc mine?
I could certainly take a look.
Yep, you could give me a history check.
Cool.
I have history too, if I can sort of...
24.
Well, that's all right.
No need.
24.
No need to aid.
So it doesn't look like it's been constructed by men or dwarves or anything like that. It looks the sort of shoddy construction that orcs would use. Yeah, you don't think there's any influence of man or anything else here beyond the orc.
Crude craftsmanship. This is no Gondor mine.
Just to refresh our memories from Arvaleg, that traitor, he said there were at least 50 slaves in there. There were usually 5 orcs on the gate, which seems to hold roughly true. There's at least 10 more inside. A troll, and this Burzalog, some small, bluish, crafty type orc. I think they were fighting each other or something when they supposedly managed to escape, but that may well not have been true. So take whatever intel we gain from him with a pinch of salt.
So as you're kind of talking here, busying yourselves, trying to figure out what's going on, you can each make me a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay. Okay, 12.
Oh. Like 9.
13.
Okay, Janice, you can roll me a stealth with advantage. Okay, so none of you know or notice a figure moving towards you in the woods. How do you reveal yourself, or do you wait further?
So as they're speaking of the orcs, of their number and the information that they have, you'll see a figure break off from the shadows, much as you see in the overlay, carrying a bow, arrow notch but pointed to the ground, a hood over his features. See gray eyes peering out as he moves to stand in front of you, releasing the tension on the arrow as he looks over the group. He reaches up with one hand as he releases the tension to pull back his hood, revealing elven features, long blonde hair, as he gives a nod to each of you.
You hear an intake of breath from Beragond.
Cynric probably hasn't put his axe down at any point, and the grip tightens even further. I would not sneak up on us, elf.
I nod again. My apologies, travelers. I am called Callus. I was on my way answering the call of the sea when I heard rumors of this place. It seems you have heard much of what I have.
Forgive us being startled, Master Elf. You wander far from home. Why
Yes.
did you? What brought you here exactly?
I have heard rumors of darkness, of orcs. As I came to this area and discovered rumors of the mind, I came here to see if they were true, which they are.
Regrettably so.
I have been observing you for some time, but I had to be sure of your intentions before I revealed myself.
And what are your intentions?
With that, he'll give a glance over his shoulder back to the entrance of the mines. Before I am to answer the call of the sea, I wish to see this dealt with, to get what information there may be to warn those that remain.
Faroth, if anything, getting over the initial shock of being completely snuck up against. I mean, if that had been an enemy, then that might have been a few of them done for. So he gets over the initial shock, and the idea of an elf kind on their side fills him with a slightly more optimistic appraisal of the situation. He knows what these beings are capable of. With a nod, he says, "Well, I for one accept your company gladly, Master Elf."
He'll offer a slight smile and another nod as he approaches closer. So what do you know of this place?
Well, this is simply an orc mine, and they like to hang us, hang our kind.
There is a number of our kind left alive in there, supposedly.
That's why we are here.
As you see, there are 5 that guard the entrance. They change guards at least 3 times a day, and it is rare that I see the same orc twice. So that should give you a hint to their number. There is also one that is rarely seen, blue of skin. He comes out occasionally to not much more than bully those of the others, so I'm assuming that he must be in charge or of some authority.
And have you heard or smelt of the troll supposedly is in there?
I'm not aware of such, but I cannot say that there is not.
How long have you been watching this place?
On and off for several days.
Then, did you see a party arriving here with a dwarf? It will have been in the last half a day, maybe the last few hours.
You would have seen them dragging a body in, Dennis.
I did see a prisoner being taken inside. Unfortunately, I cannot say for certain it is the individual that you spoke of. But by their manner, he did seem to be alive.
One of
Well,
our
as you-
companions has fallen and to them, and we want to get everybody out, but he especially is special to us. And it pains me to think of that dwarven armor, that fine chain in the hands of a sweating orc.
I don't think a dwarf has long to live inside those walls with what the orcs might do to him. I think we need to act.
I agree. Master Elf, sorry, your name again, please.
I am Callus.
Callus, well met. You say you've been watching this area longer than us. Would you have any wisdom you could grant us, or perhaps any suggestion on how we should approach? I feel that your elf eyes may be well suited for this endeavor that lies before us, if you were to join us in taking the plunge.
Would I have seen anything, Lloyd, like any other entrances, or possibly gleaned information on like if there's like regular shift changes on when would be the most advantageous time to act?
The early morning shift change, like just at dawn, is the one that they dread the most. The orcs can't be in the sun, and the sun shines down just after dawn on this area, so they have to stay inside the cave mouth a little bit, and they're drowsy. That's probably the best time that you've seen.
Okay, so Callus will say, if it is your intent to enter the mines, then I will join you. I will do what I can to assist you finding your friend. But it be known that I'm looking for information on what they are up to in there, and for someone to get out and to pass that on to those that need it.
Do you have any inkling what they are up to down there?
I do
Why
not.
is this place important? Right.
I do know, though, that at dawn is the first shift change. They are very drowsy and hesitant to reveal themselves to the sun, that would be the best time to act to gain entrance.
How long till dawn?
It's evening now, so you'd have to wait the night.
Does he have that long? That is the bargain. Maybe the best time to enter, but it'll be all for naught if he's already dead.
Perhaps if we are able to time it so, if we restrict ourselves to a certain amount of time within the mines, we can estimate when the sun rises in the morning. Perhaps it shall aid us if we need to make a hasty retreat.
You already have inspiration, but I would give it to you. That's a great idea.
Thanks.
I hadn't thought of that. Very good.
Farrell just looks back to Callus and says, "Well, thank you for your insight, Master Elf." And he raises a clenched fist to his chest. In what he learned long ago was to be a salute to an elven culture. Whether it's your elven culture, that's he doesn't know, but he shows his appreciation by doing that gesture, as it were. And then Farrell is simply going to lean against a rock and wait for the general consensus.
It's the most viable option we have, even if it is risky.
Can we estimate how long we would have in the mines, or when is the best to go? So, like, time it. Like, is it 8 hours till sunrise now, or?
Yeah, let's say 8 hours. You don't know the size of the mines inside, so you don't know how long you'll be in, you know?
Yeah.
Is there a way to creep up, watching the orcs on guard, and sort of scanning the ways up to them? Would there be a way to get close without being seen, or?
No, they've been quite careful in
Yeah.
like keeping the tree line back far enough that it's difficult to approach without being seen.
Not even from above.
From above is definitely possible. If you were to scale the mountain further down, you might be able to, but it's pretty sheer, almost a cliff face.
From reports that we had heard, these mines are sprawling indeed. I think if anything, 8 hours might not even be enough, if we are lucky.
And the sooner we go in, the sooner we may find him alive.
I think that's right.
This is not my area of expertise. I'll trust you on your judgment.
Can I move some distance away from our group and talk to the Rangers?
Certainly.
He turns to them at large. This mine has sat within your territory for some time. Do not know of any weakness it may have.
It seems the orcs are unusually well prepared here. Something of import lies within. That is clear. I would think that we have superiority in missiles. We might be able to take them out from afar if we are quick. It's the only advantage that I can think of. It's possible to climb, but difficult, dangerous. They won't be expecting an attack. I can't think of a single time that we have attacked this place, so it's possible they're complacent.
Very well. We have heard that this place has been visited by a black Numenorian. Not sure if you have seen or sensed his presence come and go. We can only hope he's not inside at this very moment. But he deems something in there important.
They all kind of look quite worried when you mention that. And Elwyn says, "He's back."
You know of him?
perhaps a year ago, Thrandir and several others were on patrol, and they encountered him. And well, that's how Thrandir ended up how he is. He's the only one who got away.
Cynric like rubs at his throat. He knows what that feels like. So the Numenorian knows of your presence here, your locality.
Well, he does. As far as we know, he does not know of Henneth Anun. No attack came. I fear that if he knew, he would have assaulted with the orcs here. But he does know that there are rangers in the woods.
It's brazen. Whatever is in there must be very valuable to him. That he has coped with your presence so far. It may test us, whatever lies within there. It may corrupt.
We are used to dealing with this filth. We've not been corrupted so far.
That can be worse. Worse than orcs. Worse than trolls. I would like you... You rangers work best at a distance. I would like you to stay at a distance. Keep an eye on the others and that elf.
As you say.
And when he says that, he's looking more Elwen than the others. They're not trying to make it too obvious. And then he scratches his neck again and turns back, goes back to the other group.
As you do, she follows, and she says, "Cynric, I have thought of you often in your absence. In the night when the only sounds were the deep forest, I've thought of you. I'm glad to see you again, although it blackens my heart to think that it's in such a miserable circumstance."
Unfortunately, it's become difficult for me to tell one miserable circumstance for another. I was almost killed just coming here. And I've been almost killed several times before this. The happiest times I've had were before those dark times. Running around this wood. And you know that any Rohirrim would probably be in his right to knock any man out who suggests that he should dismount.
Yeah, she kind of chuckles. I understand. Although, I mean, you can't bring a horse into the mines, surely. Not even you're so stubborn.
Are you sure about that? You should have seen when I walked it up to the halls of Denthor. They gave me quite the eye then.
I'm sure those fountain guards nearly lost it.
I sensed their eyes on the back of my neck. And then I tied it to one of those fancy statues they have up there.
You're ridiculous. Outrageous.
He cracks like a crooked grin. I like it that way. And I'd like it to continue. You stay safe.
And you.
And he hesitantly touches her arm for a moment and then turns. The Rangers are ready. They suggest with their help we have the ranged advantage. We might be able to take out all of those guards in one volley. And then onto the mines.
A good idea, I say, unshouldering my bow and just stringing it, making sure it's restringing it and just bending. Let's make sure let's make sure that we're not all aiming at the same orc. I'll have the one with the half ripped off ear, I say. How far are we from the tunnel entrance? Can we get to within about 90 feet, I think I need?
Yeah, the tree line's 100 feet, but you could maybe hide behind some scrub or brush if you were to move a little bit closer. I would just need a stealth check, but you can have advantage because they're not expecting anything.
I'll sneak up to 90 feet. 17.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you kind of creep up. There's like the ruins of a tree, a sort of fallen tree branch with some shrub around it. You're able to hide and get a good view there.
I draw my mark, tense my bow, and just wait for a command from whoever it is. My readied action is to fire whenever somebody commands or lets loose an arrow.
Seeing that Veragond is moving into position and knowing that he likes to spring surprises on the rest of the party, I would very hurriedly move the Rangers into position and move forward myself.
I'll also draw my bow.
And
Yeah, absolutely. Farrell draws his bow, and he also, as he goes to draw an arrow, he draws out an arrow that is very different to the rest that he has in his quiver. There is this long, sleek-looking arrow with silverish fletching. Any expert among us would know it is a Numenorian arrow. He only has one, and he's carried it for a long time. But he thinks to himself that this might be meant for the throat of the Black Numenorian. And he puts that arrow back and replaces it with a standard one.
Cynric might have caught the look of that arrow and just kind of raised his eyebrows at the fancy nature of Pharos' equipment, and like looked down at his own, and he's just an arrow is an arrow. And looking over to the elf, are you ready to test your legendary skills against the archers of men?
His features are quickly covered as he reaches up and pulls his hood down. As the others begin moving in position, he brings up his bow, notching an arrow and drawing back the string as he begins to aim at the center orc. Anyone close might hear the faint sound of a breeze as he pulls the string back and takes aim.
I have a great bow, so I don't have to get quite as close. So I will wait for someone else to fire and see if there was any orcs remaining before I down that one, ideally.
Yeah, so there are 5 orcs here, so you can pick your targets. One of them has half cover. He's like standing, or sitting rather, slightly behind one of those things, but the rest of them are just walking around.
I'm going for the one with the ripped ear.
What is half cover? Is that disadvantage?
No, plus 2
I
AC.
think.
Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, the Callus will nod towards that one as he shifts his position and draws back the arrow and takes aim.
I'll pick the one next to the one with the ripped ear.
And Farrell will share that target. I think if we both, if 2 aim for 1 each, maybe, would that work out? Confirm the kills?
Yeah, I was going to try and wait. That was why I was waiting, just to try and pick off any that left.
That's smart, actually. I think I'll do the same, and I'll let everyone else fire first and then see what it's... Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so because you're hidden, you have advantage.
Cool.
And are the Rangers also firing?
Yes, they are, yeah.
13.
21.
It's a Syrian, your arrow goes slightly wide. whistles past an orc's ear. But Baragon's yours hits true. So if you would like to give me some damage.
19.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You catch the orc right in the throat. This one with a half ripped off ear. He just looks confusedly as an arrow whips past his friend, and he's like, "What?" And then arrow goes right through his throat, and he falls down to the ground. Elwyn. Elwyn gets a crit. Look at it go.
Yes.
So that is almost certainly a dead orc. But I will do that in a second. Who else would like to fire? Arvindor.
11 points of damage to that one in cover.
11. Okay. Can you roll me a d10, Dennis?
2.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. So it doesn't kill him in hit points, but the system shock shuts him down. An arrow hits him. Cuts past his throat, and all this black blood begins to pool out, and he just falls to his knees and then down to the ground. Elwyn, with an expert shot, just right through the eye of one of the orcs, and he falls.
So that leaves 2 orcs remaining. Is that correct, Lloyd?
Yes. So yourself and Cynric have still to shoot, and
Yeah.
the
I'm
2
gonna do
rangers
so.
as well.
Let's do it. That is 23 to hit. One of them, I'll say the one on the far right, I guess.
Okay. The one that Syrian had shot at, if you would like. So
Yes,
that's a hit.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Perfect. $12 points of damage.
12. Okay, roll me a d10.
1.
He dies. So this volley just and all at once these orcs are just dying in droves. The last final orc is just looking around what's happening? And Cynric, you can take a shot.
I have, and I got the hard part out of the way, which was the hitting, a 19, and then I rolled a 1 for the damage. So that is 5 damage.
Okay. He takes an arrow in the chest, and you can see him reach for a horn, and then the other two rangers fire their bows. So Arvindor gets a 19. That's an Arvindor. And Borosil, that's also a hit. All right, so this orc is going to die also. So he reaches for the horn at his side, looking around as he has the arrow in his chest, and he's like, "What's happening?" And then just 2 more arrows catch him in the chest, and he falls to his knees and dies.
Callus will begin running forward as the orcs fall. Another arrow notched.
It was basically totally silent. Only one of them said, "What?" But even that wasn't that loud, and you have, in an instant, killed all of them.
If everyone starts moving up as one, I will move closer to Elwyn. I go, I forgot you were such good a shot.
One of my many talents, she says, with a wink.
Yeah, he just sort of laughs, chuckles slightly, and runs, putting his bow back over his back and drawing the axe and shield.
So yeah, you guys can run up to the entrance. You can see these dead orcs, and that there are behind these sort of barriers or whatever. There's just some chairs, tables. You can see some sort of orcish grog sitting there. That's been spilled.
Sorry, Callus is going to motion to the others as he tries to heft one of the orcs up into a chair, and then lay him over the table.
Nice one.
Put a cup by him.
Inspiration.
Yeah, definitely help. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll take my arrow as well.
Yeah,
I need those.
Yes, I guess I'd take.
So there's a sort of grim efficiency here as you come in, you set them up as if they look to be alive, and you just like pull the arrows out of the orcs, put them back into your quivers.
And I kiss the fletching of Molly, my goose, back home, and put it back into my quiver.
Yeah. So there's a sense of kind of excitedness as you have battered these orcs immediately, but there's also a sense of dread as you kind of look into the pitch blackness of the mine beyond and the hanging bodies overhead.
Are they easy to access, or those hanging bodies?
They're about 30 feet up.
Are they? But they've like tethered them round. They're not. There's no like rope I could just cut and they would come tumbling down. For instance, it would
Yeah. So
down.
Yeah, they've got the rope and they've nailed the rope into the rafter basically,
Right.
and then they're hanging from that rope. So it looks like they killed them and then hung them up afterwards. They didn't die of hanging.
Okay. Let's hope we can save some from that fate. What are the entrances? What's the lay of the land like?
Yeah, so there's this open area here, and it opens into this big cave mouth where you can still see some light flooding in, although not much. A bit of moonlight, but it is very, very dark. As you enter into this open area here, you can see that there are some tunnels leading off to the left and the right, and there's also the main direction is straight ahead. It kind of funnels inwards, but it continues to go straight.
I go into the darkness and sort of let my eyes adjust to the dim light, slowly sort of making out more and more. Due to the clandestine nature of my activities, I tend to operate in the shadows and other dimly lit or unlit places, and over time I've grown accustomed to doing so, and my senses have adapted accordingly. I don't necessarily see better in dim light or total darkness, and my other senses have grown to compensate for it, and within 60 feet I treat dim light as if it were bright light, and no light as if it were dim light.
Oh, nice. That's great. So you can kind of hear and smell and feel the area around you. Okay, excellent. That's good to know. The rest of you,
Callus has night vision, so he'll be able to see fine.
Yeah. Are the rest of you going to light a torch?
Yes, I will.
Then I will want to move ahead of them, so
Yeah.
I can be in the darkness. And
I will too.
So which way do you want to go? There's a small tunnel to the left and to the right, and then there's the larger tunnel leading straight ahead.
I'm gonna check the walls actually, see what the quality of the walls is like, if they were freshly dug out, if there's any markings etched on by anybody.
Yeah, no problem. You can make me a perception check if you so wish,
Mm-hmm.
or investigation. Actually.
I indicate to Callis to the left-hand passage, and I'll go to the right one and just listen up and see if I can hear any noise echoing back down from it.
No problem.
Okay, 14.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that you can see tool marks on the wall. So this is obviously dug out some time ago. You can see it's not smooth. The walls are pretty rough. They don't care about the appearance seemingly. Just whatever is efficient. The little tunnels that have been dug, you can see they're barely big enough for a human to get through, or an orc that you'd have to squish to get through. Quite claustrophobic.
Okay.
It's not only the side passages. Is the main passage larger?
The main passage is larger, yeah. On the right, when you listen, you can hear a sort of a snoring from within. On the left, you don't hear anything.
I turn round to the others. About this snoring up the right passage.
I hear it, yes. I don't know what to do about it.
Were you able to tell how many there were?
Was I? I got the impression there was one from what you did, but
Yeah, more than one.
more than one. More than one, but I say.
Val shakes his head and looks around to see if the others agree, but does this.
Cynric answers you by drawing his axe across his throat.
Farrell smiles, drawing his own blades, and waits for the fellows up front, as they can obviously see the best, for them to go in first. I think we're going to be relying on you guys a lot for coordination.
Yeah, when you go in, you can see that there's like a tight little tunnel that opens up into a relatively large room, and there's sort of furs and sort of matted fabric all over the floor, and there are 3 orcs sleeping in this room. But there's room for a lot more orcs than that. But it's only 3 here at the moment sleeping.
Are there any other passageways leading? Well, I can't see, but I don't know if anyone else can tell if there's any other passages leading.
No, this is a dead end.
Right.
So yeah, I guess with my bow at the ready, I'll enter the room and I'll kind of like circle to the left to make room for others in the doorway.
I'll circle to the right and get behind them. So if they're if they're woken by noise, I'll be the opposite direction. I'll be behind them from the noise.
Makes sense.
Lloyd, if you don't mind, I'm basically going to be doing the ring race thing in Bree, sort of like that, down, right? That's my plan.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, it's mundane. You guys are able to get in here. They're fast asleep, and you can position yourselves in a way that you can just quickly end these creatures.
Okay.
So sever one's head from its shoulders.
Once they're ended, I'll have a quick look round in the shadows for any dwarven chainmail.
None in this room, no.
My shoulders are a little down, but ready to continue.
Yeah, I'm not expecting any results, but I'm gonna just do a quick look to make sure none of them have blue skin, and then search the bodies real quick to see if there's anything noteworthy on there.
Yeah, sure.
So 15 on perception.
Yeah, so I mean, they're not carrying anything special. They're not even wearing armor, which is, you've never seen an orc without armor, I would think. They're just sleeping. It seems like if you look around here, you can see like a pile, a very messy pile of like rusted swords and blades and axes and stuff like that. Piles of like garbage orc armor lying around also, but nothing that would strike you as valuable.
Okay, well, yeah, I wasn't really looking for like loot, more like if maybe perhaps any keys or maps or any kind of information like that.
Yeah, nothing on these.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I pull on an orc cloak and sort of try loping around the room, looking loping like an orc, but then I give up the effort because deception isn't really my strength, and I throw off the cloak and go back to my own old style.
Yeah, the stench of the clothing is just...
Yeah, I was going to say, as he walks by, I kind of give a sniff and a snort as I try to explore the odor.
I don't know if the rest of us are just sort of standing in mostly darkness, wondering why there's this figure loping around.
Yeah.
This one?
It's another orc, quick, get him.
Yeah. Stop fooling around, Baragond.
Farah says, I don't know, kind of suited you, Baragond.
The left side was clear, so I guess we move forward.
Yeah,
Carefully.
Farah falls in behind them. Yeah.
No problem. So you continue in this longer corridor that begins to close up a little bit, but it's still quite wide, maybe 20 or so feet wide the whole way. It begins to wind up and down, left and right, but only really one path before you. Eventually, you come to like a larger open area, and there is a door that's been placed in like an opening or a carved opening, a heavy wooden door. And then there's like a little, like a table and a chair with like some leftover food and stuff, but there's nobody sitting there.
Shall we knock?
I'm not sure the orcs will respond to politeness. Is it? I don't entirely know. Orcs known for setting up traps. Is it worth me asking if anyone can take a look at it?
You can make a shadow lore roll.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's just hope I roll high. But it is bones, so. Oh wow. 19.
Okay. Yeah, you don't recall many stories of orcs setting up traps. It's not a common practice for them. They tend to like just protect with sheer force of numbers.
Very well. These are simple creatures. I think we just move in. I mean, what's the light situation? Could I even have seen anything at this point? I just keep remembering that
No,
I'm
it's
blind,
actually-
effectively.
It's totally dark. Yeah, you need to light a torch or
One of the two people that are leading this party could make a decision.
I think you should light a torch. It'll be a complete... and I'll open the door.
I will also light a torch. Yeah, Faroth realizing the complete hopelessness of the situation. They're not going to be able to see other than by the one that I believe Syrian lit. Yeah, he's going to light up a torch, but he's going to cover it behind the door as it opens, so as not to glare in the eyes of the people who can see better than him currently.
And Callus will take a position in front of the door, several feet back with his bow drawn. There's an off chance something comes running through.
That's cool.
the door won't open. It's locked. And as you kind of rattle it, you can hear a sort of moaning from inside.
A locked door.
The moaning of a human, the moaning of an orc, or the moaning of a troll? How do I discern?
It sounds more human than monstrous.
Aragon, do you have deft fingers? Can you open that door?
It's an orc-made lock. It should be a piece of cake, I say. Boasting, but I'm not sure I can.
Yeah, Faroth makes sure blades in hand and steps back next to the elf, perhaps.
Yeah, I pull out a. Well, is there a lock? I mean, is it a standard lock? I lean down and look at the lock.
Yeah, it requires a key. It looks like usually to open.
Well, then I'll have a quick look around the room for a key. First of all, search through the bedding for a key.
No such luck, I'm afraid.
Okay, then. Then I go back to the door. Get out of even thieves' tools, but I'm guessing I do.
We lost you there for a sec, guys.
It doesn't actually say on my character sheet that I've got any thieves' tools. I mean, let me just check the background equipment, or shall I just presume I have
I think presume you have them. You're a thief. That's like your job.
it?
Treasure hunter. Are you a treasure hunter?
So I'll.
I think he was, right?
Yeah, he's a treasure hunter.
They get thieves' tools.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll get out my. So I slip a wire into the lock, and terrible, and fail to do anything.
Yeah, you're trying to get at it, but it's a lot more sophisticated than you would have thought.
It's black Numerian made. This is no orc lock, I say.
How are the chains? If they're degraded, we could use strength. Strength behind my axe.
Would it be possible for us to strip the door off the hinge?
You can certainly try to knock it off the hinge.
I'm quite a weedy-looking man.
Okay, so does someone birdie want to attempt it?
Well, I think Farroth's going to look around, questioning the wisdom of making such a noise in such an area. And then he looks to his party and says, perhaps we can test to see if there's any reply that comes from the door before we attempt to enter.
Does anyone speak the black tongue?
Farroth and I both do.
Yeah, it's a bit risky.
It's a heavy burden.
Oof.
It weighs on us. It weighs on us so.
I mean, there was one other passageway. But by the sounds of it, there are humans on that side, so it could be nothing but a holding cell.
This close to the entrance, though, whatever it is, I don't think it's an orc.
That, or we may find the key in that other passage.
You, Baragon, can hear footsteps approaching.
I silent to be hidden. I'll try and get to a hidden place and indicate everybody else to.
Okay. You're lagging quite a bit, Caius. Maybe turn your camera off or something?
I would ask Caius which way or Farragon, which way the footsteps were. Are they on the side of the door, like our side, or the other side?
So if you imagine, you're in this kind of largish chamber. There's a door here, and there's a chamber yonder.
Sure.
And then you've come from this way, but there's also a direction leading further downwards, and that's where the footsteps are coming from.
Oh, okay. I'm going to attempt to stealth as well, like you suggested, but can I be in a position that I could rush anyone that comes around that corner at a moment's notice? And I'll, I don't know, whatever the Ithilien hand signals are for get back, get ready.
I think Farroth will pin himself to the wall of the entrance. So he's basically holding his sword like that with his back to the wall, waiting for whoever comes through to walk by. And I shall also make an attempt to stealth.
No problem. So it's a little, maybe a couple of seconds later that two orcs like walking the chamber. They don't seem to spot most of you so far.
I have 23.
Okay.
Can I see if either are carrying a horn?
They're not.
Okay.
Okay, they might see Syrian. Oh, no. Nope. So they walk in and they're chatting to each other in the black speech. One of them saying, like, oh, I hate this job. It's so boring watching this place. And the other one's like, yeah, I know. Pain in my arse. And one of them goes to sit down at the table where he like picks up a discarded bone and begins chewing on it. The other one walks over to the door and just like bangs on it. And you hear like, from inside. Get up! And he begins reaching for keys at his side.
I'm going to loose an arrow.
Yeah, simultaneous stabbing attack.
So, I mean, this is describe how it happens because there's so many of you and so few of them.
I think the elf fired first, so.
So basically, yeah, as I'm behind him and he's looking down to fish for his keys, my arrow strikes in the back of the throat, coming out the front, pinning him to the door, and silencing any noise that he might make.
Faroth rushes into the one at the table, brings his hand onto the back of the orc's head, slams him down onto the table, and just brings his blade across the creature's throat.
Yeah, there's no fight put up. They're just simply not expecting it. And just all at once, the orcs are dead on the ground, and the keys gling, gling, onto the ground.
Faroth scoops up the keys and chucks them to Cyneric.
I'm going to move to that passage that they walked from and just kind of kneel down and listen and watch to see if any more approach.
As you listen carefully, you can start to hear the sort of ping, ping of like mining, people hitting walls with pickaxes.
Cyneric turns to Faroth for just 1 second. If this is the slave pens, as I think it is, they are safe in there than they are out here. And if there are 50 of them somewhere within this mine, we're too few to adequately goad them back to safety.
Callus will rise and move back over so I can speak quietly and say, what if the one that you seek resides within?
True enough, Elf. True enough. Although I think they have special plans for him. And he sort of just grumbles to himself as he goes for the lock.
Yeah. And you can open this door. There's a small corridor and then another door, which you'll have to use another key on. But they're both on this set. And you're able to open it, and there's this awful stench of waste, of sweat. And it's pitch black inside. If you were allowed to torture someone who can see in the dark would come, you would see that there are probably 30 humans in here, just wearing rags, sleeping on the cold rock floor. There are several dead humans in here that the orcs just haven't taken out or dealt with.
Cyneric grits his teeth against. So it's a large door into an antechamber, into a smaller door, and then the human prisoners behind it?
Yeah.
Right. And are they crammed in a space that they shouldn't really be crammed in? That many kind of people.
Definitely, yeah. They kind of, a lot of them let out gasps when they see you. They were not expecting that, and many of them just like begin weeping.
I'm thinking out of character. What a face to see of all these things, and then you get Cynic's grimace is the first thing you see in all these years. Yeah, he opens the door and then probably like takes a moment, like fortifies himself against the smell, and his eyes or from a torch behind him or something illuminates the room. He's just, well, I was right. I guess we have to help them now. And he's trying to make it like the weapons are by his side, trying to make as non-threatening as he can be. I'm sure they're frail, and he will try to be gentle, like picking them to their feet or carrying them if they're too weak or something, just out of that horrible stinking room and away from the corpses.
Yeah, many of them are just like reaching for you, just like grabbing at you, like just not sure what's going on. It looks like maybe some of them are mad from the darkness, half starved.
Cynic in his incredibly unfriendly way is trying his best to like keep them quiet. Just, we are here. Just, shh. We'll get you out.
Oh, thank you. Quickly before they come.
Follow me, I say, and start leading them back towards the entrance.
Beragond, make sure the strongest of them take the weapons of the orcs.
I look them over, and my definition of the strongest are the tallest. I point out the tallest and tell them to take the weapons, and otherwise get them back to the entrance.
I turn to the Rangers and say, make sure he doesn't go alone. And then turn to Elwyn. If you see the troll, run. Don't fight it.
Such a thing cannot be allowed to live.
Yes, but wait. You cannot protect all these people and fight it alone. Wait for us. I know you.
All right.
And then I don't know how many. You said about 30 of them.
It's about 30, yeah.
And some of them are dead and stuff. Yeah, I suppose it takes a long time to form some sort of chain of people as I pull them out of this tiny room and then see them to their feet. But now that they've opened this door, Cynric can't leave it until he's helped them.
Yeah. You can each make a wisdom save, please.
I thought so. I think I would have left like supplies and food and stuff back with Ciaro, so I can't even give them anything to eat.
Right.
Which weighs heavily on him. Oh god damn it. How many shadow do you want to give me? All of the shadow.
So
if you 2 or like I think a 6.
Okay. So if you fail, if you get below 15, you'll get 2 points. If you get above 15, you'll get 1.
His eyes sunken a little more, look a little darker. His jaw is a little more tense.
That goes for all of you. Yeah, you need to make that save.
Oh,
I was just keeping quiet, to be honest, Lloyd.
well, I got an average 20, so sure.
I did notice that I seemed lacking assistance there.
So if you get above a 15, you'll take 1 point of shadow. If you get below, you'll take 2.
Okay.
Even on a natural 20?
Even on a natural 20, you'll take 1.
Okay. 1 shadow.
So
Where
what
is
now?
shadow on the character sheet? I can't see it.
It's below your attributes.
Beneath charisma.
Oh,
is
yeah.
where your shadow
Oh, yeah,
permanent-
it's the bottom one. Yep.
So what now? Deeper into the mines?
Yeah, Faroth returns
Yes.
to the elf and just asks, anything moving? Anything that you've heard?
Just people working the mines.
Just quickly, when from the entrance, I point the villagers, the escapees, in the direction of a stream that we passed, and once I've sent them off, say, if we are lucky, we might be back to guide you, but your best bet is to make your own way across Ithilien to the west.
Can one of the rangers go with them?
Yeah.
They might not make it through that kind of country.
Yep. Detach
Um,
one of the rangers and ask him to lead them.
Okay.
To use his initiative, and he can lead them either west or north or whichever way he thinks, but do his best.
Yeah, it's Borosil who says, I will take them.
I clasp him in that kind of Roman-esque, like forearm kind of. The Ithilien Rangers are so cool that they would do that. So,
Yeah.
safe.
He's just grim-faced, serious. He nods his head and then he begins walking.
Okay.
Deeper into the mines it is.
Might just take a quick break there, guys, and grab some tea. 2 or so
Sounds
minutes.
good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
All right, I'm back.
Right, Lloyd.
Hello.
I think I'm not gonna make this out without Cyneric going completely dark from shadow points. I was looking at the Shadow Hunter type wanderer thing that I am. They get some really cool abilities as you level up, but like nothing makes them better as they have more shadow. And you seem
Okay.
very inclined to dabbling as like this Shadow Hunter character to dabble in shadow.
Yeah, that could be cool. Like use the shadow to fight the shadow.
That's the whole point of that.
Yeah.
That's how it's described. You are the hunter of shadows.
But you're saying mechanically there's nothing that you gain from having shadow?
Apart from the negative shadow mechanic, being a hunter of shadows, you just get cool stuff, basically.
Right.
Cool, killy things against the creatures of the shadow.
Yeah.
Like I know we're far away and we might never get there, etc. But at 7th, if an enemy of the shadow successfully hits me, I automatically get to make an attack back.
Oh wow.
And then at 11, I can either choose Bane or Whirlwind attack. And Bane gives me once per turn, I gain an extra D8 radiant damage. Or if I use a flaming torch against the dead or evil spirits, it does a D12.
Wow.
And Whirlwind attack is I can strike everyone within 5 feet of me. And then there's defense against the shadow, which stand against the tide. I can like encourage them to start hitting each other. Unbreakable will I can be immune to any supernatural sources of fear or like intimidation, or I can have uncanny dodge. So it's a very combat orientated class.
Yeah.
But I feel I'm gonna go completely dark, and there's not a lot. I mean, the only thing I know that can stop it is like there's one of the herbs. You can take it to reduce the shadow point, but it's 1 per year. And I played the Elven Healer, and when you get to like level 7 or above, you can take a thing where if you spend an entire long rest uninterrupted with a character, you basically like head shrink them, psychobabble them, and reduce 1 shadow point per that long rest. But you can't do it to yourself, which is really interesting. So
Yeah.
you can heal other people's shadow, but not your own.
Interesting.
I think there is like a resting mechanic because a lot of this is to do with like adventuring for a time and then going home for like a year or two kind of thing and then adventuring out again.
Yeah.
So there's all those sanctuary rules, and I think they help you regain your sanity. But
yeah, because isn't it if your shadow reaches a certain point, then it overtakes you? Is it if it beats your wisdom score?
You become miserable.
Yeah.
Your spirit is weakened by too much grief. A miserable creature has disadvantage on all attack rolls and automatically fails charisma ability checks.
Oh my goodness.
So literally, if you beat your wisdom score, if it exceeds your wisdom score, your shadow points, you are just screwed.
You won't be great at many parties.
You can temporarily counter the effects by spending inspiration, which is meant to be a more freer resource in this game than in standard D&D. And that removes disadvantage for a single attack roll.
Oh, wow.
Or make a charisma ability check at disadvantage rather than automatically failing.
Wow.
Oh, good God. But you can
What way to get rid of shadow?
There are a few different ways, but they are generally long and laborious, unless you have the one particular healer class, and then they have to be level 7. Or it's not easy to shake it particularly.
And nor should it be really like It's the whole point in the books, isn't it? That like some things you'll never forget, some things that will never leave you. That's what I like about it in a way. It's kind of grim, but.
When a miserable player rolls equal or less than the difference between their shadow point total and their wisdom, for instance, like the difference between having 10 wisdom and 15 shadow points, they start to suffer bouts of madness.
Oh my God.
Which is even worse.
That's hilarious. Oh, wow. We've got that to look forward to.
Oh my God. And whenever you have a bout of madness, you gain more of those shadow weakness flaws.
God.
Because as you start, it's called degeneration, and So, like my wandering madness, for instance, it turned to idle, then forgetful, then uncaring, and then cowardly. And there's different levels of madness.
You turn into
Oh,
Thorin.
red tongue or something.
Not one single coin. Okay, yeah. So you are in these hideous mines, and you have just sent these poor people to their freedom.
Oh,
And now it goes deeper into the mines. Which of you has the lowest wisdom score?
Oh,
An interesting question. I will let.
14's probably not me.
I have a 14 as well.
I have a 16.
Ooh.
12. So I'm the lowest. Bloody hell! I didn't realise
Unless
that.
the elf
I was
is.
going to say I've not been playing it as the wisest, so I should have meant that maybe.
How about the elf?
I've got 16.
Okay. So then, Baragond, you start to hear a sort of whispering in the back of your mind. As you're walking kind of further down, you see like a vision flashes before you of Nar being eaten, of his chainmail torn apart, of all of these treasures that the orcs have acquired here, all these gems, incredible, beautiful gems. You see them all just like melted together to make like an iron blade, a total waste of all this beauty. You see all of this flash in front of you all at once, and then you can make a wisdom save for me, please.
11.
You scream in fear.
Can I, like, spin angrily and clasp his mouth shut as quickly as possible?
So it's just like a moment of "Ah!"
You just have in the dark these furious eyes staring at you. What is it, man?
Is he back by us, or are they still at near the entrance?
No, you'd be together again.
Okay.
I slowly peel the handbag. What would you risk all our lives for?
Beragond's face, his young face, is just strained, and looks like he's in pain. And I says, "I fear for Nar, and my people in the past have had visions, and I had one now. They said that my grandfather had visions, and I had one now of Nar being eaten alive, and his mail being ripped to pieces." And he goes a little bit vaguer at this point, and other horrific visions.
Pull yourself together, man. You're just seeing things. Did you know you were screaming?
I'm sorry. And I turn to all my companions. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my scream.
Baragond, it is often difficult to keep despair in check, but please. And Faroth sort of looks back down the where they're going to see if there's
Drums in the
any,
deep.
if there's drums in the deep essentially.
Bum, 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 bum. No, you can roll a perception check if you...
I will certainly try.
As your gaze turns, you'll see Callus looking to you, and he meets your gaze briefly and says, "Should we gag him?"
That won't be necessary, Master Elf. Baragond just got a little overexcited. And as Farrell stares down into the darkness with a perception check of 16, Lloyd, yeah, although standing next to the elf, it probably, wouldn't be as helpful.
Sorry, just one sec.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so you can hear that the mining is still going on. You don't hear any change or any difference in the way the sort of rhythmic mining.
Faroth looks to the rest of the company and says, "We should press on. Just keep to the shadows and keep quiet."
Callus will give a final look to Baragon, then turn forward and meld in the shadows as he begins moving forward.
Yeah, you can keep moving along down this corridor, eventually coming to another door on your left-hand side that looks to be locked also. And straight ahead of you, now you can see it opens up again into like a larger room. Those who can see in the dark, you can see that there is a hole in the center of this room, and there looks to be like a ladder going down.
Faroth looks to the elf once again and asks, "Can your elf eyes see into the darkness? Can you see the bottom?"
With an arrow at the ready, I'll cautiously approach the lip of the hole and lean over just enough to look down.
Yeah, you can't see the bottom, but the ladder goes as far as you can see. You can actually, no, you'll be able to see a vague sort of orange glow from the bottom, but it looks to be a couple of 100 feet on this ladder.
So I'll communicate that to him. It goes quite a distance down. There appears to be some sort of light below.
And this is like one of the last things that Faroth wanted to hear, like the idea of such a height being so exposed on a ladder in darkness just does not fill him with the best feeling in the world. And he looks to the others.
How large is the hole?
Like from where you are, it's probably 10 feet across, but it doesn't stay that wide all the way down. You can see it kind of like sometimes widens out, sometimes tightens. And when you listen down here, this is where you can really hear the sort of ping, ting, ting of mining.
Is the ladder like large, sturdy? Is it still only like a single orc size? Like so very exposed.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's deliberately dangerous almost. Like it's like carved into the rock itself. There are like, what do you call them? Like little metal rings that hold the rope in place of the ladder, but the ladder itself kind of like hangs out sometimes over.
And other than the door that we passed, there's nothing else in here other than the hole.
Yeah, there is a, sorry, I should have said, there's another path leading further.
It's far too vulnerable. I don't know how that. I don't. The orcs must use this. They can't send weakened slaves up and down a ladder that's hundred or more feet long. There must be other ways. How do they get whatever's down in that mine out? I say we push on.
Maybe there's a pile of dead slaves at the bottom of this ladder.
Your visions have made you grim. As grim as me, Baragond.
Should we check that door before we press on?
I think it might be wise, says Farrell, trying to ignore the fact that, yes, indeed, it is kind of becoming quite a grim atmosphere is settling upon the group. But then suddenly, before he moves over to the door, he looks back to the group and asks, would there be any benefit in removing part of the ladder, perhaps? Or just leaving it as we've never been here.
I suggest we leave it.
We never know. We may find ourselves down there and need a way up.
It's very true. Agreed.
I would leave it. Let them to up.
I'll see if this door has an orcish or a black Numenorian lock on it.
It has an orcish lock, although more complicated than the last one that you saw.
I'll try and open it.
Okay.
Is it a sleight of hand or what is it?
I think it's sleight of hand, or is it just a thieves' tools check? I'm not sure.
Thieves' tools. Anyway, either way, it's 17 thieves' tools. Or
Yeah. So you put this piece of wire and a pin in, and you're able to slowly turn the tumblers until you hear a very, very quiet click, and you're able to pull the door out. And inside there is a bedchamber. There's like a bed draped with furs, like a sort of carving in the rock that acts as a desk with some bits of like orcish fetishes just kind of like hanging around the place, like skulls and things like that. But also in this room, tied to a post on the extreme left of the bed, is a dwarf.
is it Nar?
Yeah. Have you ever seen Nar's face, actually? Or has he always worn his armor? That's the question.
Have we? I don't know.
I think there was at least that
Exactly,
one
we don't know.
time. There was at least that one time when we were camping out in the tree when we were having breakfast that he would have had the helm off.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is
To
Nar.
eat.
He's not wearing any armor or even any clothes, and you can see that he's badly wounded. He's got slashes and cuts all over, but noticeably he has a cut from his collarbone down to his hip, and it's black. The wound is black, and you can see black sort of like a black infection spreading from it.
Okay, I rush over to have a look at it further. Like, is it an infection or is it something more?
Yeah, you can make a medicine check if you like.
Certainly.
I'll cover with an arrow, just in case something appears. I'm still a little bit wary.
Another natural 20.
Wow, nice. So this, you would know then, is not a natural infection. It is the mark of a Morgul blade, a devastating weapon used by the enemy's most powerful servants that can, over time, turn wounded into wraiths.
Our friend is done for. He will soon be one of them.
Can you is he conscious or not?
Barely. He's kind of like breathing shallowly.
Nar, any next of kin or messages you want to send back?
He sort of dizzily says, "I will not tell you, beast. I'll not tell you. I'll not break."
No, you won't, I say.
Just out again quickly, is it the Iron Hills that Nar is from?
Yeah.
Faroth moves into the room and he crouches down sort of in front of the dwarf. And he looks into his eyes and he says, "Nah, You are the first of your kin that I have ever known, truly. And your actions, they have truly rewarded you a place in the halls of your fathers. And he puts a hand on Nar's shoulder and he says, what shall we do?
You see Nar confused about what's going on. He tries to shrug off your hand, but then eventually he opens his eyes and you can see that they're huge bags under his eyes, like a black outline around his eyes. His eyes are pale blue, almost white. Far off.
Yes, Nar, it's me.
You have to get out of here.
Is he here?
Yes. You cannot stand before him.
Faroth looks over his shoulder again, almost pleadingly.
I, presuming due to my previous run-ins, Lloyd, and the fact that what creatures it took my father and older brothers from me, I've seen the wounds of a Morgul blade and had them
definitely.
taken. Cynric, since you entered the room, is entirely quiet. His hand is on his throat, and he's a little paler than you've ever seen him before. He doesn't answer you. And not normally would be very assertive in times of peril like this. He has one idea, but he doesn't dare voice it.
Either of you shadow warriors could make a shadow lore check.
Yeah, sure.
Oh god, I got 5.
That is a natural 20, Lloyd.
Okay, Faroth, you have some information about these wounds. You know that there is a weed, kingsfoil, that you can use to slow the process. It won't heal it, but it'll slow it. You think usually a week, maybe at a push 2 weeks before the transformation is complete and Nar dies and it wraithrizes. You also know that the only real way to treat this would be elves.
Yes, as a matter of fact, the thought did jump to Farrell's mind, but then Kingsfoil snaps into his mind, and he looks about, and he looks probably to Syrian. Syrian might maybe have some, I don't know. Kingsfoil. Since we passed through the forest, did you see any Kingsfoil?
Did I? That's the question. I didn't actively look or intend to pick any up.
I think it's only useful for this purpose. Like, it's a weed, you wouldn't really notice it, but it's useful for this one purpose. So you can make me an intelligence check.
That's the point, though. I do have that that healing kit.
And healing won't work. It's got to be athletics and elf magic. It's too magical, too unnatural to heal.
Okay, intelligence roll, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 9.
Okay, yeah, you didn't notice any as you were moving.
I was going to ask, having been in the area for a few days, is there any chance that Callus saw or remember seeing any?
Yep, you can make an intelligence check.
$17.
Yeah, you would have seen some growing at the base of a large tree, not too far from the entrance, maybe an hour.
From outside in the hall, I assume I would have been able to hear him ask.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I will step back in the doorway, and I will say, I know of some about an hour's run from here.
Then we have a decision to make. We can either retreat with Nar, and Farrell lowers his voice, and buy him some time, or we take advantage of our position here and move on. That, or, and I wouldn't be suggesting this, but someone returns to the surface with Nar. The others press on. Any of the Rangers that were with us still with us at all?
Elwyn and Arvindor are still with you, yeah.
Damn, they're dropping like flies. Okay, so maybe we could send Nar up with one of the Rangers.
Would I be able to come up with some kind of feasible directions to give him an idea of where to search?
Yeah, you think that he'd have a good idea of, if he was looking for it actively, that he would be able to find it.
Okay. And yeah, I'll give him a general idea of, to kind of pinpoint his search.
It sits ill with me to leave you here. It's already so dangerous. But if you wish, I will do what I can.
And Farrell is once again addressing the rest of them, and he says, "You heard what Nar said. The Black Numenorean is here, and he says we cannot stand against him. Now, I know he was not in his right mind, but Nar was a formidable warrior. He knew what he was talking about."
If you wish to leave with your friend, I understand, but I will press on. I must see this through.
The reason we came here was to end this threat. We can turn away now with the largest threat still present. And whatever his interest in this place, we can leave him to make full use of them.
You're right.
Our mission, the mission Denethor gave us, was to identify the shadow. And I think now that we have heard about this Black Numenorean, this is the shadow that has arisen. And we should report it to Denethor. Our mission may be complete. If we can get the news back to Denethor.
By the time we get back, however, it may be too late. Whatever dark purpose this Black Numenorean is serving, it might be done by the time we return to Gondor. It might be too late.
You are right. We need to find out what he is doing. And that Iron Hills mail is too valuable a thing to leave in the hands of a Black Numenorean. We must rescue it from the hands of the shadow.
So that Nar may wear it once again for perhaps one final time.
Yeah.
For his final walk.
Bareth nods and gives sort of a glance over to the elf, being the one who has led us this far and not led us astray.
I don't want to take lightly Nar's advice. And what little I know of these things, they are formidable. We might not all make it out alive. There are still orcs left here, and this supposed troll, and their leader. It might be more than him, the Black Numenorean that we face down there. And if our only means of entrance and exit is that long and very fragile ladder, we could easily be cut and left stuck down there.
Is there no other way that we've spotted Lloyd that could lead us on?
You can go further into the mines.
Okay.
Okay. Just know it has been easy so far, but it is unlikely to continue that way.
True, but it's not very likely that we would ever have this chance again. I doubt they will be so lax next time.
No.
Let us push on.
has Nar been taken away at this point? Or is he like hobbling away?
Yeah, the ranger would kind of put his like take his cloak and put it over Nar, and then Nar is pretty much unable to walk, so the ranger would like put his arm around or lift him fire what's that called, fireman style, like over his shoulders and begin moving out.
Fireman's lift, yeah.
Callus would move with him a moment and say, once you have seen to this task, you should spread word of what we have learned so far. And if you can get that word to my people as well, I would be grateful in case I'm not able to make it out myself.
I'll do what I can, Master Elf.
Thank you.
I'm just going to pull Elwyn aside. Do you want to be the bearer of tidings back to the other rangers?
I'll see this through.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why I bothered asking.
I didn't join the Rangers not to get involved. There's something dark here, something terrible, and I need to see it through.
Damn it. And he just kind of turns. And he's thinking like, damn it, if I can't respect that.
So yeah, I guess I'll begin heading back down past that hole to where the path continues forward.
I'll push on with him.
All right. So past the hole in the ground, you can enter more tunnels winding. You even start to see some people who are just mining, like carving new paths or new rooms with pickaxes and the like. Doesn't seem to be anyone guarding them. But as they see you approach, they kind of shy away and they like put their hands over their heads, make themselves as small as possible.
Do we send them to catch up with Nar and the Ranger? They can't be travelling fast. He might be able to look after them all.
Do these look to be manacled in a line or something, Lloyd, or are they
Yes.
able to freely move? Manacled.
No, they're manacled together, yeah.
I still have keys. Maybe one. I don't know
Yeah,
if there's a key left on
if
this
you-
ring. But
If you want to try, I don't see why we shouldn't.
Whatever efforts we can do to slow down what they're doing here.
are there any remaining keys on this ring, or do one of the existing ones happen to work?
There's only 2 keys, but you can definitely try if you so wish. But there would be no success. There's actually, you start to see there is no keyhole. These are permanent, like they've been welded shut.
Oh.
So they're all like together. Is it anchored somewhere, or is it just like they're in a large group?
So they're all anchored to each other by these manacles, and then a chain attaches to a piece like a metal clamp in the wall, basically, so they can't leave this area.
If we try and break that, we'll give away our position. I regret to say it, but perhaps if we live through this, then we can think about freeing them.
Oh, please don't leave us here, please.
Sorry, were they pinned into the ground somewhere?
To the wall.
To the wall. Damn it. Can we? How many pins are there? Are we able to pull the pins out and have them?
So they are all like their manacles are manacled shut, like they're welded shut. So it's basically just the iron, and there's no keyhole or anything. And they're all attached to each other by these chains, and then the chain goes up to the wall where there's like a metal clamp in the wall that they're chained to.
No. Okay.
Too high for them to reach with their picks.
Yes. Yeah.
Farroth just looks at the one who spoke to him and says, "Do not lose hope. We will not abandon you here. We need to find a way to get you out. Tell me, do you know how many await us down there? Has any orc or being passed this way at recent time?"
Some came up from below to go check on our quarters. Other than that, no. How many? I don't know. 10, 15, and the troll.
Yes, let's not forget about the troll. Thank you. We will endeavor to set you free as soon as we've dealt with them.
Please come back.
On my word.
Why do we not set them free now?
It'll give ourselves away.
I've worked too long and too noisily to see these people free. This is not a good place to be, especially if we don't have the element of surprise, which we've managed to keep so far.
That is our only asset at this time. Our subterfuge. We best not lose it now.
A nod.
So continuing to move forward then, you begin to hear boom, 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 some sort of huge bassy drum being hit in a rhythm. And eventually you come to a large staircase that zigzags dramatically downwards. You can see now down into a huge chamber. You can see that there are several lifts that go up into holes above you. There's clearly more of this facility up there. But this seems to be the main chamber. At the center of it, there's like a natural rock formation, almost like a tower. A natural sort of pyramid rise. And on top of that is this troll, huge burly cave troll that's banging on this drum, keeping the perhaps 100 or so slaves in here who are hammering away, chipping away at these walls. There is an orc next to the troll, blue-skinned. He's wearing fine dwarven chainmail. And he's kind of just like looking around, giving commands. There are probably, well, you would know exactly, there are 11 other orcs in this room. Most of them like with whips and stuff, who are just like keeping the people working.
And these orcs, just obviously from us having this very quick glance at them, they don't appear to have. They all appear to be working together. There's no hostility between the orcs at all.
No, it seems that this blue-skinned orc is keeping them in check.
Yeah. Okay. Faroth sort of gets low and after having seen all of the group get an appraisal of the situation, waits to see who suggests something first.
An awful lot for us to take on all at once.
If I could dissect the thoughts of that blue orc, maybe we can find a weakness.
How many ways? The general lay of the land is a relatively large room with people mining, and we've come down one passageway. Are there other passageways linking off in different directions, or?
Yes, there's another staircase on the opposite side of this chamber, maybe 300 feet from where you are, exactly like this one, sort of zigzagging upwards, taking up very little space. And then the rest of the room, there are 3 sort of elevators that they've built, like by pulley or whatever, where you can bring stuff up.
I do not like the look of this room, but I have a question. When I first saw Nar chained to the bed, sorrow and sorrow for our companion moved me, and I forgot to look at the room. Did anyone else investigate that room to see if there was any sign in there as to what was going on down here?
No.
No, it
My
seems the
strength is not in
shot was too
paper.
great.
So that's why we brought you along, to look at all the bits of paper.
Lloyd, do we appear to be higher up? Do we have the high ground essentially from where we've entered the room? We're looking down at all of this.
Yeah.
Farrell looks to Baragon and says, Baragon, you are light of foot, although your mouth has been louder on this particular excursion. Perhaps you might be able to skulk into the shadows. And you, elf friend, as well.
Are there any particular shadows you want me to skulk towards? I say, eyeing the dwarven male on the blue orc.
If we're able to strike at their leadership, then perhaps it would disorient them. It's sadly a fact that the blue orc appears to be stood next to the biggest threat that faces us, and Vareth eyes the troll beating the drum.
Can I ask how long it's been that we've been in the mines, as far as we can estimate? How soon till the sun?
Probably been here about 3 hours, I would say.
Right. And is that troll, does it look armed with any particular vicious metal-looking weapon, or is it more some large things that it beats this drum with, which I'm sure it would still hurt?
Yeah, he's got these like two kind of clubs, I guess, that he's beating this huge drum with. You would see that on the ground next to him. There's like a large club.
Right.
Do the other orcs seem to have bows or just normal weapons?
It's probably 50-50. Some of them have bows,
Okay.
and some of them are just like armed with swords or like large spears, things like that. But they all have whips that they're cracking almost relentlessly.
These zigzagging pathways down into this mining chamber, there isn't like a one circular one that goes around at a certain height that like links these two stairs up? Or is
There's
it
not,
only
no.
down onto the floor?
Yeah, there's not like a, what would you call that, like a gantry or anything. It's just like
Sure.
these go down into the big area and then up on the other side again.
The end of
And
the
these
mining
orcs,
room-
Lloyd, are they armored or?
Yes. Well, the ones with the spears and stuff are armored.
Yeah, okay.
The end of the mining room, can we see it, or is it in darkness? Do we get a sense that the ladder room that we passed might connect into this level of floor, given that it was like 100 feet down?
Yeah, there is light from that tower in the middle where the troll is. There's like some torches and stuff. There's torches in more like just like open fires basically around the place where so the slaves can see what they're doing. The ladder, you can't see a sign of where it goes into this room.
Right.
Okay, following Faroth's instructions, I'll dart from shadow to shadow, moving forwards, waiting for moments when people seem to be looking the other direction to advance a bit forwards to get within bow range of the blue orc.
Okay, you can make me a stealth check, please.
When we first come upon the scene, how far are we from the blue orc when we start?
About 100,
22.
150 feet, thereabouts.
Okay.
22, you said. Okay, yeah. So as you say, you creep your way down this path, down these stairs, and into the room itself, moving from shadow to shadow, hiding between bits of rock and stuff like that. Moving right behind some of the orcs at times when necessary. But you get probably to within. How close do you want to be to this blue orc?
"90 feet-ish, if I can get to."
That's doable.
Wait.
Yeah, so you get to a point where you're hidden behind a rock, and you can see up on this thing, this huge troll just like relentlessly beating this drum, and the blue-skinned orc is like sitting there, and he's like looking at this this incredible dwarven chain that he's got, and he's just like spitting on his hand and then like wiping off some of the grime or the dirt on it. He's very pleased with himself.
Can I just have a second? I know one of us has already snuck away, but is the plan to take out their leader and hope the others fall into disarray? That we can enrage the troll to do most of the work for us?
More of a suggestion than a plan, Farrell sort of mutters as he watches Pericon disappear into the shadows. The trouble is, and this is what's running through Farrell's mind, is if the alarm is indeed sounded, it's all very well that we have the orcs in here, but what concerns Farrell is how many are going to reinforce them from the other exits we've not checked yet. Hoping that maybe Baragon is able to get a glance, maybe, to see if there's any way we could cut them off. But right now, he's clutching his bow, and he's just within range, I believe, at 150 feet, but isn't going to do anything else.
The same for me, that I'm just in range.
Just taking aim on the blue one.
I mean, without the leader, the troll may be leaderless. And you and I can speak the black tongue. We might be able to confuse it enough to strike down the others.
It's a risky plan, Cyneric. Have you, other than our brief encounter, have you had any experience with these beasts before?
I mean, up to you, Lloyd. I think I fought plenty of orcs in my time. I would have imagined maybe a troll or one.
You might have encountered like a forest troll, something like that. I think the cave trolls are probably smaller, maybe. They have to be able to fit through smaller spaces, but I think you probably would have encountered a troll. Maybe not fought one, but you might have seen one, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, too, with the path that we've taken. If we make our escape through there, I don't know that there's many areas that would be easily fit for the troll if he were to try to give chase.
Yeah, you know for sure that the way you've came has been quite tight, so you know for sure that he wouldn't be able to get out that way.
Okay.
But even I don't think we can do this particular encounter without raising the alarm. And then, as you say, we don't know how many things are around here, but also that means we lose surprise against the Black Numenorian, if he really is here, and if Nar wasn't completely delusional.
Well, our only other hope is to move past them unseen, but that seems equally unlikely.
Yes, I agree. I'm curious, now we're in sort of the main mining chamber with the elevators, do we see what they're actually mining? Is there anything of use? Is it iron?
Looks to be iron, yeah. Nothing crazy valuable. And they just seem to be like bringing it up to the next level where you guys haven't been yet for some purpose. Most likely to create arms and armor for orcs would be your guess.
Right.
But yeah, they're not mining gems or anything.
Okay. If they, are we while we're watching this, are we seeing people like the orcs load it onto elevators and then ride them up into the higher room, or are they sending it up expecting there to be more orcs up there to deal with it?
It's a very good question. We could have inspiration for figuring that out. So the orcs like whip the slaves who bring these big cartfuls of iron onto the lifts. And then the orcs just like get the slaves to like heave on these ropes, and it goes up unaccompanied.
Right. So there are further people up there to deal with it. So their reinforcements may well come from above us, which is a very unideal place. How many slaves roughly in this room?
About 100.
About 100. Good gracious. Right.
Farath eyes that police system and wonders if there would be some way we could cause a distraction.
And Beragond is looking at the police and wondering if he can climb onto one of them without being seen.
Yes.
Very possible. I would need another stealth check, but I think with one, they pile these huge carts and stuff on there. They're really big, maybe 20-foot square platforms that they're bringing up there. So I think you'd be able to slip in there.
Is there one within sort of some distance? No, never mind. I'll just sneak on and try and get up there.
Okay, so just give me a stealth check, please.
Oh, failed. I got a 10.
Okay.
Do you want my inspiration, Caius? Are we able to gift people inspiration?
Yes, certainly. Also, you should have inspiration by now, guys. If you don't have inspiration by now, you all should have at some stage gotten it.
I think I started with one.
I'll use inspiration then. Oh, it doesn't help. I get 12
God.
instead. 12.
Okay, let's see.
Those rocks start skittling away as I move.
Yeah, they do. You kind of come very close to it, and then you step on a little bit of loose rock, and it's barely audible above the drums, but you just see the long-nosed head of this blue-faced orc just snap in that direction. And he looks around and he zeroes in on you, and he picks up this mattock off the ground, and he points with it. Intruders!
Are any of the elevators going up at the moment?
There is. You could make a jump for one if you like. You could make an acrobatics.
I'll try and jump.
Or
I'll
athletics.
try and jump on an elevator.
Okay.
Maybe he'll leap away. Oh my god.
16.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You leap and you just grab onto the end of it, and you're able to pull yourself up onto it. And this orc is just going ballistic, and it's time to roll initiative.
We had all our
Oh
bows
my
trained
god.
ready,
Yeah.
on the blue orc. Oh,
Yeah, so you guys can we'll just do it in order, basically.
okay. Oh boy. That was not the time to roll low on initiative.
It's okay, the elves got it.
Okay, so you guys will basically get your round of shots, and then we'll go into initiative. So,
Okay.
Callus, you can fire first.
Okay, before I do this, are there any other exits near our current position?
Near your current position? No. So basically, there's two normal ways out, which are the two stairs. This one, and then another.
Yeah, the one that's the opposite way. Yeah. Okay.
And then there's the 3 lifts. Those are the only ways out of this room.
So that would be 24 to hit.
24 hits.
That's 8. 11 points of damage.
Okey-doke. An arrow after this guy in one of the softer parts of the dwarven chain, and he looks down at it confused, and then his eyes follow the line, and then he looks in the direction of all of you. Farath.
Yeah, I just rolled it for speed's sake. I got a 19.
Okay, that's a miss. The chinks off the armor.
Damn.
The dwarven chain is made of incredibly stern stuff, and it just bounces off.
Uh-oh.
Syrian.
I have no chance. I did not get through that.
Okay. Sorry, Syrian.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I also rolled for speed. I almost certainly missed on an 8.
Yeah. So the shots are good, but you weren't expecting this sort of armor on an orc, and they just ping off the incredibly finely made dwarven chain that he has put on himself.
Good.
And then we're into initiative. Now, Bergen, you didn't have a ready to fire, so you've taken your turn basically, but you'll be in this.
Yep.
Right, so Burzalog, looks down at the arrows, is outraged, lifts the mattock and like points in your direction. Kill them! And he is going to move behind a large rock and gain some cover. That's what he's going to do. Palace, it is your turn.
Is he now?
Is he still at least visible? Can I still take a shot even though he's behind cover?
No, he's hidden from you now. He knows where you guys are, so we moved into a crouch down behind a rock, so you guys can no longer see him.
And I assume the other orcs are like beginning their charge.
Yeah, they're getting ready to move.
What about the troll? What's the troll doing?
The troll is like roaring in anger. He's stopped drumming and is like reaching for his club.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and take a shot at how close is the closest orcs to our position?
There's some pretty much right beneath you, like off to the right of where you are. There's 2 orcs there, whipping maybe 30 slaves into. Well, they were doing that. Now they're grabbing their weapons.
Okay, so yeah, I'll take a shot at whatever, one of the close ones. That'll be 20 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
4, 6, 10 points of damage.
Okay. Is this against a guy with a bow or a guy with a spear? One of each there.
One with a spear.
Okay. Excuse me. Faroth.
So Lloyd, these pulley systems, is there another one that's been lifted up as well, or is it just the one that went up with Baragon?
Yeah, they're kind of constantly going, coming and going, if you can imagine.
So if I were to loose a shot at one of them, is there a chance that this lift might land on an orc, or would it likely land on a slave?
I mean, there are much more slaves than orcs. So there's 100 slaves and maybe 11, I think it's 11 orcs.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay, never mind then. In that case, I'm going to also take a shot at one of those orcs. I'm going to take a shot at one of them with a bow, just because to cover us, essentially.
I mean, there is a chance that it would fall the correct way if you want to take a shot, but there's, also a chance that it'll fall the wrong way. It depends on how well you hit, I think. If you want to
okay.
Risk it.
I'm going to risk it. I've got inspiration. I'm going to risk it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to spend inspiration, so I'm rolling with advantage, okay?
Okay.
Baby, that's a nat 20.
Boom. You release this arrow and it flies right through one of the supporting ropes, thunk, and the load of iron on top of it just begins to fall downwards, smashing into the ground. One of the orcs that's sprinting towards your position is just crushed. There's like a small sort of splat noise, and he is done for.
And with that, I wink at the elf, hoping he was watching.
The cave troll goes next. He picks up this huge club and he begins running towards you. Then he realizes that he can't get up there and picks up a rock and fucks it at you. So I will need you all to make a dexterity save, please.
Fuck.
I don't know if you saw at the end of my turn for my move, I fell back down. So
you're back in the corner. You want to make the save.
18 on the Medex save.
Okay.
I too got a handsome 18.
15.
Handsome 18, I like it.
Okay, well, 14 was DC, so you all will take half of 24, so you'll take 12 bludgeoning damage.
Right.
Yowzers.
Well, I'm glad I passed that, otherwise I would have been pretty much out this fight.
Yeah, so the troll just picks up this huge rock, almost does like an Olympic-style twist, and then just throws it as far as he can, and it smashes into the ground where you are. And then he lets out this terrible roar, beats his chest, and that is the end of his turn. Syrian.
Okay, so as the orc, because the cave troll is beating his chest and being all whatnot. Seren is going to step forward with his horn and blow it as hard as he possibly could, right in his general direction. Can you make a wisdom saving throw for the cave troll, please?
Sure, that's his specialty. He fails. Shockingly.
Smashing. So he gets disadvantage on his next attack.
Excellent. Okay, I'll write that down. All right, nice one. So yeah, you blow the horn, and the troll is just like horrified by the heroism, and he kind of stops in place, looking a little bit frightened, actually. Cyneric.
Because trolls are stupid, and the orc leader was hiding behind a big rock. It didn't happen to be the same big rock that the troll picked up and threw at us.
You can roll a percentile, and on a 10 or lower, that's the case.
Oh well,
Oh my
why
God.
not?
Oh, a genius idea, though. I liked it.
Oh no, not in
No.
any way. Yeah, I just thought I'd try that.
Yeah, definitely a good idea.
Not that I can even hit that guy in dwarven armor. To be honest, I would have to roll so high. Cedric thinks the biggest threat is possibly some of those orc archers. So, I mean, he's not the most competent bowman, but he's going to attempt to shoot at one of them.
Okay.
Any kind of advantage for height or anything like that?
For height,
Or do
yeah,
we get cover from being up here, like compared to them? But
yeah, they'll have difficulty hitting you.
oh god, like 12, 13?
Against an archer will not do it.
Wicked.
Grazes past.
How is there already some melee combat orcs quite close to the bottom of this stairs that we're standing on?
There's one quite close who had been shot by Callus.
I'll move to the front of the pack with weapons drawn and
Okay.
distance myself so I hopefully don't get rocked again, but ready to take the charge.
No problem. The orc maulers, this guy near you begins sprinting up the stairs. He uses his movement and his dash and is able to get to the top, but isn't able to attack. Then 3 others begin moving and dashing, 2 of which get to the bottom of the stairs and 1 of which is another movement away. And that is their turn. Berigond, you're on top of this platform that is being brought inevitably forward. The slaves now look quite confused. There's no orc whipping them, and they don't know what they're supposed to do.
But does the platform continue to rise or not?
Yeah, they're still lifting it at the moment, but they look like they might let go.
Okay, I'll put my dagger in my mouth and start trying to get some momentum going to try and swing the platform so it's swinging slightly in the direction of the cave troll, and then start climbing the rope.
That is great. Inspiration for that idea. So yeah, you can give me athletics or acrobatics to start swinging the thing in the direction of the troll.
23.
Nice. Yeah, so you like, was that athletics or acrobatics?
That was acrobatics.
Yeah. So you like grab, like you take a run and you grab one of the ropes and like swing off the thing and then back and then the other side and swing off. You can see Berigond just doing this incredible feat of athleticism as he's like swinging this this platform now, which is like a pendulum, sort of Damocles hanging over the head of this cave troll every couple of seconds. You can hear also the groaning of ropes just as it moves. Nice one.
Shall I? I mean, my plan is obviously to drop it on the cave troll, but shall I try that next turn?
Yeah, I think that's your action for this turn. Would be
Okay.
the check to get it swinging.
Okay. Can I also be climbing up the rope a bit above so I can cut it underneath me and still be holding onto the rope?
Yes, you can.
Could I also mention that Elwyn is with us and not on the initiative?
That is a very good
And
point.
she's a consummate archer, which might
Yep.
come in handy.
I will put her at the bottom. Yep. Okay. The orc archers. One quite near you is going to take a shot at you, Farath. But he misses. It clangs off the rock near you. Three others, no, actually, all of the rest begin running as quickly as they can. Two of them come into range when they use their movement. One of them is going to fire at you, Cynric, and he misses, and another is going to fire at you, Syrian, and he misses. So the cover is doing you a lot of help here. They're like clanging off the rock, unable to get a good shot on you. The rest will be in range next turn, and then Elwyn pulls an arrow from her quiver, pulls it back quickly, and takes a shot at one of these archer orcs. And she misses. God, I can't roll for shit today. So it like twangs past the ear of one of these orcs, but to no avail. Verzalog is still hiding behind his rock. He is going to begin moving away from you. So you see him like run from the rock he's at, sprinting in his dwarven chain towards the opposite side of this room. So he would now be another 60 feet away. So he would be 190 feet away from where you are now. Yeah, so he just is sprinting away. Obviously not keen on getting involved in this fight. Callus.
So would I be able to see him yet?
Yeah, you can see him now, but it's 190 feet away.
Okay. So as soon as he comes into my view, I will take a shot. So, 21.
Yes, that will hit him. What's the range on the bow you have?
It's
It's strange.
sorry, it's a wind song. She's a great bow. It's 150, 600.
Okay.
But I have the virtue of deadly archery, so I don't get disadvantage for long range.
Okay, perfect. Yep, so that's a hit. Give me your damage.
It also lets me use it in close range too, which is very
Nice.
handy. So it's 7. So 11 points of damage.
11, okay. Yeah, an arrow in the back, but he continues to run. This little coward.
I'm going to go ahead and use my action surge to take another shot at him.
Okay.
While he's still in view, and I'm still alive. So that would be 22 to hit.
That's another hit.
That's 8 points of damage.
Okay, nice. Yeah, another thunk into the armor, but still he lives. Farath.
So Lloyd, they're all charging these stairs. How many melee armed orcs are currently basically at the stairs right now?
So there's one who's like right on you, who you could engage with, and then there are 3 at the base of the stairs.
So seeing that we kind of have archery covered up here right now, Farah quickly slings his bow and draws both broadsword and short and goes to town on this orc. He just rushes him, trying to plow his blades into him. Okay. That's a 21 for the broadsword.
A hit.
And that's an 18 with the short sword.
And another hit.
Excellent. Okay. 16 points of damage in total.
Nice. You stab the short sword into his gut, and then the broadsword picks off his head, and he begins tumbling back down the stairs.
Nice.
Okay. The cave troll. He looks for another rock, cannot find one of the appropriate size, and begins rumbling towards you, but stops halfway, realizing that he doesn't know what to do. He hasn't had Berzalog tell him what to do, and so he's confused as to what's supposed to be going on. He failed a check that he has to make, and so he does nothing. He moves a little bit and then does nothing. Syrian, you're next.
Okay, so I'm going to turn my fire to the other archer, hopefully to snag him on the hand and make him falter greatly. However, I rolled terribly and got a 6.
Okay, no, unfortunately not.
This is getting too much for Syrian.
Yep. Yeah, it goes wide, unfortunately. What about you, Cynric?
Now, Gareth came to aid me against this oncoming tide of orcs, and I dealt with the foe that was in front of me. What I would like to have said on his turn as like a free action is, if this is the case, the boulder that was thrown at us, is it still implanted like on this staircase somewhere?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And his turn, could I have asked him to use whatever movement he has left to get behind where the boulder is, so he doesn't get crushed by what I'm about to try and do?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
as you run
Farroth
in
nods and just jumps behind the boulder.
right, good. I get behind it. I don't know. Try and wedge both legs, like sitting down or something, and I try shift the boulder so it begins rolling down the stairs to the orcs at the bottom.
Okay, no problem. Give it a go. Athletics, please.
I'm going to use the inspiration to try and give me advantage to push this, because I'm sure it's probably difficult, and I'm only so strong. 16.
16. That'll do it. And it begins to roll ominously down these stairs. And at the base, I'll have these orcs make a dex save and see if they can jump out of the way. That one does. That one's dead. And that one does. So 2 of them jump out of the way, but one of them is just annihilated. Splat! So the ones that jump out of the way will just take some damage instead of being crushed. They take 9 damage each from this rock. As they desperately try and jump out of the way, it like splats at the base of the stairs. They're gonna have to try and climb over it if they want to get up. Okay, nice one.
He'd probably gives an eye to Farroth.
The orc maulers now at the base of the stairs, and the other one who gets here are now gonna. He's gonna dash and try and climb across this rock. And he crits that, so he like literally doesn't stop running, just like leaps right over and continues up the stairs. The other 2, 16. Yeah, okay, so one of them gets over, the other one is like struggling to climb over this rock. But 2 of them are moving up. One of them gets to the top with his dash but can't attack. The other one actually can attack. So he takes this big sort of spear that he has. He's going to try and stab you, Farroth. It's always you. When I roll, it's always you. For a 17.
I don't have any cover as he's reached me. No, that hits me then.
Okay. Ooh. So that'll be 8 piercing damage from this spear.
Ouch.
Those are maulers. Beragond.
Okay. Beragond wraps the sort of. Oh no! With this weight on him, he won't be able to manipulate the rope at all, except the swing it's got. So he'll just try and cut through the rope and drop it on the troll.
Okay, I love it.
The right swing.
Yeah. So you can make me firstly a. How would you cut through the rope? You just make an attack against the rope.
Can I? Is it a normal attack, or do I count it as prone and just do critical damage? And if I beat a damage number or not, or
so
what do you
I think it just as long as you hit, you'll cut through it. You know.
Okay. So I hit. Yes, I hit.
No problem. Yeah. So you like take the knife from your teeth and just begin sawing at this rope, and at the end, as it just begins to fray, you just hear as it's like swinging, sickeningly now for you, I think. And at the apex of one, like the rope breaks and all the iron on top just tumbles down upon this troll. I'm going to give him a dex save with disadvantage, which he absolutely fails, and this iron just goes crashing down on him. You can see he's like brought down onto the ground, and iron just like smashes all over him. He lets out this like mournful cry. Doesn't understand what's happening. He's just a big idiot. And he seems to be basically incapacitated.
And just as my free action, no, I don't think I'll be able to manipulate the rope. It's not like one of those silk ropes or anything like that. So I'll just carry on. I'll try and use my move to climb up the rope towards the platform at the top.
No problem.
How high is it? I mean, if it's hundreds of feet.
It's probably another from where you are, another 90 feet.
Okay. And how high am I from the floor?
You're probably already, let's say 60?
60. Yes, I'll carry on climbing then.
Okay. Yeah, so you continue to climb. The orc archers, let's see. So they're going to roll to attack each of you. Okay, okay, so it is 1 hit on Cineric, 1 on Faroth, and 2 on Syrian.
Seriously? You hit everyone?
Well, they missed all the time at the start, didn't they? So.
Yep.
Ow.
Ouch.
Okay, Cineric, you take 4 damage.
Okay.
Faroth, you take 4 damage.
Okay.
Oh my god. And Syrian, you take 7 damage. Spectacularly on the hit and awfully on the damage.
Ow.
And then crunch, crunch. Chink of armor and heavy footsteps. And behind you, materializing seemingly from nothing, you see a man, his skin grey and pallid, though somehow beautiful and terrible all at once. His eyes are black, and tattooed around his eyes are flames. His mouth has a black line down the center with flames wreathed around it. He holds an enormous black blade in his right hand, as though it weighed nothing, and a smaller one in his left. And with a flash, he slices at Elwyn.
Now, you didn't actually give Elwyn her turn, unless this is...
Oh, yes, then she will go first. But this happens at the start of the round.
Right.
So she will try and shoot Berzalog, I think. And she does. Oh, that's damage. So she gets a good shot at Berzalog. And then with a sword comes. That's a hit. Okay. Would you like to roll me a d10 for Elwyn, Dan?
No, not really. But I'll go on then. Oh, shit. That's a 2.
Okay, so she falls unconscious. Not necessarily dead, but unconscious. The blow from the sword catches her under the rib cage, and just, he pulls the blade out, kicks her to the ground, and he says, "Fools, you think to come into the realm of Sauron with impunity, but you will find only ruin and death here." And that is his turn.
Sauron?
Berzalog goes next. Seeing the Black Numenorian appear, he turns dramatically around and begins charging towards you, not wanting to seem like a coward in the eyes of his master. That's what he does for his turn. Callus.
Oh boy.
How many orcs are down at this point?
Most of the archers are still up, but there's only one spearman.
Right.
Plenty more work yet to do.
Yeah, so he came up from behind us, right? The Nemorian.
Yeah, he like materialized somehow.
And he took her down in one hit, correct?
Yeah, well, she's unconscious. It
Well,
was
yeah,
system
yeah.
shock, basically.
But then I've got Burzalog in my sights already. He's probably still at least a turn or two away from us. So yeah, I'm going to spin around and take a shot at the Nemorian. So that's 18. So yeah, 26 to hit.
26 hits.
Uh, 11 points of damage.
Okay. He uses his reaction to make an attack at you because you attacked him. You're next to him, right? Because you're using it right up close.
Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, I wouldn't have moved. I don't know where his
Yeah.
position was. I would just would have spun around and shot him.
So the arrow kind of thunks into him. He's wearing this thick black plate mail. He doesn't even seem to notice, and he strikes at you with his smaller sword. But misses, amazingly. Unless your AC is crazy low. What is your AC?
17.
That's what he got.
Oh,
I'm just saying, you said that was crazy low. That's
No, I just realized his. I've been dealing with orcs who have like +2 to hit, but this guy does not have +2 to hit. So unfortunately, that is a hit. I need you to make a con save.
It's crazy low for him, is what it means.
Yeah, this is a low armor like kind of game.
unnatural 20.
Okay, that is very good news for you. But you do take 8 slashing damage from the smaller of the two blades. And then it is Farath's turn.
So the Black Numenorian has sort of just appeared at our back. Do I have any orcs like directly in front of me? If I break the line here, am I opening us up?
Yeah, there's one orc with a spear right in front of you.
We're in such a bad position right now. It's unbelievable. Baroth is going to shoot a glance back at the Black Numenorian, but he trusts in his friends that they're going to be able to hold him off a bit longer. So Faroth is going to make his attacks against the orc that's next to him.
Okay.
So that's both attacks. That's a natural 20 on one and a 2 on the other. So forget the short sword, but the broadsword is a critical.
Okay. You're going to kill him. He's only got a couple of hit points left.
Amazing. So I like to think that I just basically swing wide with the short sword, but then almost inverted, jam the broadsword into the orc's throat, and he just stumbles backwards and falls down the stairs.
Absolutely. So it is. The cave troll is no longer in the combat. Syrian.
Okay, so Syrian is feeling quite cowardly now after seeing this terrifying skirmish going on. Suddenly, this Morgul creature appears. He's going to simply kind of shield himself with his hands and try and heal any wounds that he's been inflicted on.
No problem.
Okay, so 1d8 plus my wisdom mod. Please be a good roll. No.
That's killing.
Okay. I am terrified.
Good. Cyneric.
Right. So, what I would like to do is run directly at the Numenorian, and then at the last moment, use disengage, duck down, grab Elwen, roll underneath his sword arm so I'm on the other side of him, and then use whatever movement I have left to distance myself from him, and then put Elwen on the ground and turn around and face him so he's flanked on both sides.
Very dramatic and ballsy. I like it. So you could just make me a, I think an acrobatics to try and jump out of his way or roll out of his way. Or you could maybe try an athletics to like barrel past him or something.
I would prefer an athletics because it will give me the slightest more chance to succeed.
Okay.
Bones is not really with me, as it never is. That's a 12.
Sometimes the shadow is with you. He rolls a 1.
Right.
Which is still an 11, but not a 12.
Jesus Christ. Right. Yeah, I barrel at him with fury, and then do what I did: feint, roll, check out and put put Elle into the ground and check like her pulse or see that she is still living, which was my primary concern, and then spin round and like point my axe at him. You're kind of taking everything from me. It's time to repay that in kind.
The orc maulers. Okay, so they're gone actually. Baragond.
You remember that scream you heard earlier? You're hearing it again. As he he reaches down to some of the loose rope that's underneath him and pulls it up and wraps it around his belt, just to tie it into his belt for added security. And then, sort of supported like that, he unshoulders his bow and takes an aim at the Black Numenorian from the rope and tries to, when he swings into a position where he can actually see him and have a shot, he'll take a shot.
Okay, I think you can shoot with disadvantage.
Yep, that's fair enough. Yeah, so the Numenorian might be aware of an arrow somewhere in his vicinity, but that's as close as he gets. It's an AC of 10.
Okay, yeah, unfortunately not. Baragond, the archers. Okay, so let's see if they can pull it off again. So your hits. Oh, no, actually, Cynric, you're no longer in view of them.
Okay.
But you then are hit, Farath, and you are missed. And Syrian is missed. And Syrian is crit. Oh my god. Okay, so Farath, you will take 6 piercing. And Syrian, you will take 8 piercing and need you to roll a d20, please.
$17.
That is good news. That is a minor scar. That will live the rest of your days. Maybe it catches you in the jaw or something. But nonetheless, nothing too critical. That was lucky. Elwyn is going to make a death save.
You said she was conscious and stable. She just...
I don't even know what the 2 is. I know it's unconscious.
It's unconscious and stable, I think.
Stable,
one
okay.
is one is where you're
Dead.
making death saves.
Okay.
I thought one was dead. Just...
Okay.
It's one, then I might be wrong. But sorry.
I don't know the chart, to be honest, so...
Lloyd said she was down and unconscious, not stable. So,
Okay.
but she's got 3 saves to make, so you know.
She makes her first one anyway.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
That's what I'll go with.
We've got 3 rounds to sort that out. No pressure.
The Black Numenorian turns to you, Cynric. He says, "We have taken everything from you, and we will take everything you have." And he tries to attack you. He gets an 18 on his first and a 22 on the second.
Excellent. Both hit.
So the first attack does 17 points of damage.
Okay.
And the second does 7, and I need you to make a con save.
I'm down.
Okay. Make the con save first.
Will do. 13.
Uh-oh. You are poisoned. You gain 3 levels of exhaustion. And if not healed within 2d8 days, you die and become a wraith.
Wicked.
10 days. The application of Athalas will give you an extra day each time you use it. So the Morgul blade, first he slices with this huge sword, and the second stabs this Morgul blade into your gut and pulls it out again, and Cynric falls to his knees before. I would like each of you to make a wisdom save.
Oh wow, we're gonna die.
I got 26.
Wow.
That's amazing.
12.
18.
18.
Okay, so then it would just be Syrian. You gain a point of shadow from the terror of this situation. That's the end of the Numenorian's turn. Berzalog continues running towards the stairs. Callus, it is your turn.
Seeing that brutal attack, Callus will release the battle cry in Elvish as he charges forward and shoots at the creature's back. Nat 20, so that would be, nat 20.
That will hit.
That'd be like 28.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not very good. 7. Jeez, just 11 points of damage.
Okay. He cannot gain a lingering injury because he's not alive. Farath.
It's like it's in slow motion, and Faroth made that split decision to defend their flank or attack the Numenorian, and he decided not to. And he looks back, having slain the next orc, and the Numenorian has cut through both Elwyn and then, in the middle of his act of gallantry, Cynric also. So Faroth, rage bubbling inside him, flicks the blood from his blade, and he screams at the top of his lungs, "You Black Numenorian, you know this blade. It belongs to the kin that did not turn to the shadow as you did." And I like to think there's almost a glimmer on the blade as Pharos screams, "Anarion!" Royalty revealed and charges in a last-ditched effort. And I need to look this up again. It's on my sheet, so here we are. This is Royalty revealed. So first of all, he needs to make a saving throw, of which is DC 15, Charisma.
Charisma.
Sorry, Wisdom.
Okay.
Wisdom.
He succeeds.
I thought he might. Anyone within 10 feet of me recovers. That is 8 points of health,
Hooray!
Nice.
including myself.
Nice.
And I also get my attack, which is a nat 20. I'm on fire. Oh my goodness.
Anarion is here.
And this is like straight into him, like no messing around here. Okay, that is 24 points of damage as I plunge the blade into the side of him.
Very nice.
I don't think it's enough though, somehow, as he's not been touched.
He turns and looks at your display as you reveal your heritage, and he almost like shrinks back from it. And when the blade connects, there's like almost a sizzle as it strikes through the armor. And I mean, it couldn't be fear, but maybe caution comes across his face. That was great. Good inspiration. Syrian.
Thanks, man. I need it.
Okay. Feeling this slight glimmer of hope once again from Faroth, Syrian is going to take his horn again, and this time throw his voice into the horn towards the Morgul Numenorian.
Let's find out.
He doesn't even care if it does anything. He just wants to stare him in the face.
Nice. That is a piss poor roll. That is a 4. What's your DC? He ends
11.
up with a 12.
You had to go. That's
sorry. But you could have inspiration for blowing a horn in the face of the Black Numenorian. It's
Thank
gnarly.
you.
Okay, Cyneric, you are brought back from the brink. Oh, no, he's not. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. In the meantime, we can go to Beragond. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, DC.
No, oh, good.
He's been brought back from the brink.
Yes,
What
you've been brought back from the brink. You've gained 8 hit points from Royalty Revealed. Oh, I think he's gone again. Yeah, we'll go to you, Beragond.
Okay. Beragond, I imagine him swinging round on the rope. He took one shot last time and missed. The rope comes round again, and as the Black Numenorian comes into sight, he tries one more shot at him whilst he's distracted by all these sounds. Inspired by his allies, he takes a shot, and because I'm going to use my inspiration to cancel out the disadvantage. Nice. But it still goes wild, and then I'll use my bonus action to dash up the rope.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, continue skittering upwards. Okay, the archers, they will try and shoot. But they miss every single shot. Nothing above a 12 there, embarrassingly. Are you back down?
I thought I was back last time. But
You're back now.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
so. What happened since the thing got stabbed?
Yeah, royalty was revealed. You gained 8 hit points.
Does that work on unconscious people?
I will say yes. I assume so.
Right. And that's that. That's as far as I've missed.
Yeah, Beragond took a shot and missed it. Syrian blew a horn, but the Numenorian resisted.
Okay. Is it my go? Or
yes. Yeah. Sorry, it's your go.
So I'd probably go down to the most pain I've ever have felt before crumpling before Elwyn, only to be shaken from the land of the dead by the cry of Anarion. And did you say like the thing like reeled back from the sizzling blow of the blade or something?
Yes. Yeah. When the royalty was revealed and the name of a true Numenorian was said, he seemed to fear that somehow.
I probably get, because I'm probably laying across Elwyn or something at this point, having fallen on top of her, and I sort of look down at her and see that she's breathing, and my head is probably ringing, and I don't know where you had him stab me, in the side or something. Or
In the gut.
In the gut with his Morgul blade. My hand probably goes down to that, and I very shakily stand to my feet. Not really knowing entirely what's going on. I just go, it'll take more than that. This darkness only makes me stronger.
That's gnarly. You got inspiration.
And then attempt to hit this guy, but some of those nat 20s that you're getting rolled would be really nice. I've not seen one.
If I get a few more, I'll chuck them your way, man.
Thanks, dude. You know what? I'm just going to throw the inspiration at this one to try and hit. 17 plus 5 for 23.
That's a hit.
Now I'm not mounted, so I have to recalculate my damage. And that is a D8. Right. That's 12 damage, I think.
Nice.
As I plunge the axe somewhere between his helmet and shoulder, I think.
Yeah. There's no like spray of blood when you pull it out, just sort of wispy shadow is all that escapes. So that was Cynric. We've had the orcs and Baragon go. So Elwyn shakily gets to her feet, having been healed by the revelation of royalty. The hope inspires her. She stands up and she pulls a shot and tries to fire. It's a 19 on the die, Elwyn. Okay, so Elwyn fires an arrow, catches the thing somewhere, actually in the wound that you would call Cynric, right in there, and it sticks in that hole in the armor made by the axe. And he takes 10 piercing. It is his turn, and let's see. He is going to swing his swords at you, Faroth.
I stand ready.
Your line is weak. And then he misses his first attack. He goes wide with his like it's basically a greatsword he's holding in one hand. He goes wide with that, and he swings with the little one.
I'd rather you hit with that one, to be honest.
Oh my god, it's a crit.
Ah, with that Morgul blade.
Oh my god.
You're all going to be wraiths by the end of this. Should we have a wraith game at the end of this?
Yeah, wraith game.
Okay, I need you to make a con save, Rob.
Okay.
I need you to succeed.
That is 19.
That is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you do take 9 piercing damage.
I'm still up.
Excellent.
I
So-
take it like the line of a Nominorian.
Yeah. He looks surprised when you don't begin to immediately like bleed black blood, and steps back. And then it is Burzalog who now gets to the base of the stairs at the end of this turn. So this orc in the dwarven chain is now like at the bottom of the stairs, and he's beginning to pull his way up. Callus.
Now with the Numerian, is he considered flank? Would I have advantage on?
I'm not really going to go with flanking rules, I don't think.
Okay.
It makes it too complicated.
So 23 to hit.
That will hit.
Ooh, nice. So that'd be 12 points of damage.
Okay, very good.
Another arrow snaps into his back.
All right. Faroth.
So, just so I'm clear, then we're still being assaulted by the Black Numenorian. Who else is left opposing us? Is it Burzalog? Is there any others?
Burzalog and the orc archers. There are still some orc archers kind of piddling arrows at you, but they haven't been very effective.
Okay, I figure as the Black Numenorian has just plunged this mortal blade into. I would like to think it's just gone straight into Faroth's stomach, and Faroth just looks down, and then just glares up at this Numenorian, and he's just going to bring both of his blades just swiping across this dude's face in an attempt to just get him away, hack him down, whatever he can. I'm not shitting you. I'm not shitting you. That is a natural 20 and an 18. So I think both those hit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 18 plus modifiers should hit.
I promise you. Oh my god. That is a natural 20 on the short sword this time though. So
Anarion.
Anarion. Oh my god. So that's 20 with the broadsword.
Wow.
And a 12 with the short sword.
Very nice. That's crazy. Yeah, so Faroth explodes once more, slashing with both his blades. And the Numenorian takes a step back. You hear the as his foot takes one step back for the first time in this encounter. Syrian.
Yeah, so as Faroth is really kind of suppressing him with those blades, he's also going to take a shot as well. I also just rolled to speed up, and I got an 18 exactly.
18 total.
Mm.
No, it clinks off the armor. Unfortunately, Syrian's not having a great game. I apologize.
No.
The black plate stands in your way. Cynric is gone momentarily. Beregond.
Shimmy up the rope, gets to the top of the rope, as I've calculated by now with my bonus. And then he's kept his eye on the Black Numenorian all the time. He just gets onto the sort of railings at the top of the rope or whatever it is, and releases a shot at the Black Numenorian in combat with the other guy. Is it a disadvantage or not? But it probably is the range more than 90 feet.
Yes, it is now. Yeah.
Okay, so it will be at disadvantage, and I can't get. Actually, then I just roll up into the room and look around to see where I am.
Okay. Yeah. There's sounds of industry as slaves in here seem to be like hammering bits of iron and stuff. There's like a huge smelting area towards the back, and there are a couple of orcs who are standing around, but it looks like most of them have left. Like there's way more. There's only 2 orcs in here, but there's maybe another 100 slaves here, and so you think that most of those orcs are probably on the way down.
Okay. The nearest orc to me, I'm just going to loose my arrow at it.
No problem.
Has it seen me or not?
No, it hasn't.
It's still not a very good shot, but I get a 15.
That will hit.
Okay. So that is 15 points damage.
Yeah, right through the back of the neck. One of these orcs just falls down, dead.
And that's all I can do that round.
No problem. Cynric.
Hi, my internet is dying a death.
Yeah.
It really is. What happened? Is the Numenor guy gone?
No, he's not gone. Faroth attacked him and battered him somewhat. Syrian tried to hit him with his mace, I think, but missed. And Beregond is now up on the 2nd level, and he's taking a shot at some orcs up there.
Okay.
So you're basically still engaged with the Numenorian.
Very well. I guess there's only really one thing to do. And that's attempt to keep hacking into the same axe wound. I'm just loading up bones again.
No problem.
It's being slow. I've got my phone ready in case I need to swap to it. Nope. Bones has abandoned me. Complete miss.
Sorry. Yeah, the black armor is proof against your attacks. Elwyn is going to try and take a shot. She hits. Elwyn is nailing it. It's maximum damage. So Elwyn does another 10. Okay, and back to the Numenorian who will be attacking you, Farath.
I thought he might be.
Is he looking weakened at all?
Oh, I've just thought, because I have 3 levels of exhaustion, it would have been a disadvantage anyway, but I rolled so poorly.
Okay, it's no big deal.
Come on, you foul black speech malingering asshole.
I will eradicate your line from this day.
Here we go.
Not with that strike, but yes with that one. So it's always the Morgul blade.
Oh man.
I got hit by both of them.
Yeah.
Believe me, they both hurt.
So you'll take only 4. He rolled minimum damage. No, sorry, 5 piercing.
I'm still going.
And you need to make a con save.
Yeah. 18.
That's enough.
Oh
So
my goodness. Like I'm literally hanging on. Come on.
I don't know how. So that's his turn. Berzalog now runs up the stairs. You can hear the of the dwarven chain as he approaches. And he is going to try and swing for you, Syrian. But he misses dramatically. He's not used to fighting in this dwarven armor or with this dwarven mattock. Takes a big swing, and you just hear like cling as the mattock smashes into the ground next to you. And then Callus.
Here we go again. So that would be 21 to hit.
No, that misses. Ping. Oh, no, sorry, that hits. No, wait. Let me check.
I'm attacking the Numenorian.
I feel like that misses. 1 sec. Yes, that does miss.
Jesus.
Okay. Farath.
So this once again the Morgul blade just stabs into Varoth, and it's like, you know, he knows it's happening, but he can't hear anything. The only thing he can see is this vile creature, this insult to his own line, and he's just gonna keep attacking because that's all he can do right now. But it would seem that the latest stab of the Morgul blade has completely taken the wind out of him, and Faroth basically is just swinging left, right, and the Numenorian is just parrying both shots easily as I roll a 1 and a 3.
Wow. Okay. Roll me another d20.
Yeah. That is an 18.
Okay. So you he blocks the first strike, the 1, and you feel your blade kind of like wobble, but it holds true. It doesn't get sliced in half or broken.
Oh, good. Okay.
Syrian, it is your turn.
Okay. Syrian is feeling he's running out of options here. But no, this time he is going to summon all his might and inspiration and rush forward at the thing that tried to strike him. That's better. I got an unnatural 20.
Is this against Berzalog?
No, this is against the Numenorian.
Yeah, it doesn't hit, unfortunately.
No.
I know. But it's a better shot in the back of the knee. Cling, but the armor is just too thick, too heavy, and doesn't seem to do any damage to him. Cyneric. Oh, he's gone, is he? Yep.
I think so.
Then Beragond.
Beragond will. There's one more orc in this room upstairs, isn't there?
Yes.
He'll. You say there's some molten iron.
Yeah, there's like a big smelting area.
Okay, then he'll try and run. He'll draw his swords, run in front of the molten iron, and hopefully, if the orc comes towards him to attack, he'll just trip him and drop him into the molten iron.
Excellent. Okay, so you're readying basically.
Yep.
No problem. The orc archers are still here. They're going to try and take some shots. It's pathetic. Another 3. That's a 1 and a 10. So no, none of them hit. And then Elwyn is going to try and take a shot. Oh, Jesus. That will do it. 16 on the dice. But she only does 4 or 5 damage. 5. That is her turn. Oh. Hello, Cynric.
Hi.
If you'd like to make your attacks. He's gone. Okay, we'll go back to the top, I think. Oh no, I really want, he needs to get a go in before the Numenorian does.
I actually need like 5 minutes myself anyway. I gotta go pick up my son real quick from work.
I think we're very nearly finished. I suppose we can take 5 minutes. I know it's late, guys. How do you feel?
To be honest, I kind of need to be up in 6 hours, so I'd like to wrap up if I could.
I didn't think it would go on this long. And we could just stop here and pick it up next time. Or we could do one more round and see what happens.
I'm happy with either. I'm happy with either. If you wanna do one more round, I'm happy with that. But if you guys need to go like instantly, then it is what it is.
He's very nearly dealt with.
Yeah, I can go.
Maybe Syrian can finally get a hit in next round.
Let's do one more round.
Maybe Callis can attack, and so if he does need to go, he can go out of order, and you can do his attack when.
Yeah, we can hear you, Dan. Dan? Oh.
Can Callis do his attack so he can go out of order?
Let's have Cynric go.
Hello?
Okay. Hello.
Oh god, this is a nightmare. What I'm trying to say is I have half movement, like disadvantage on ability checks and attacks. It is incredibly unlikely I can contribute. So even if I'm cutting out, like I can't do anything.
Okay,
If he has like an armor of 21. So I can try and roll.
Okay, you could also use you could try and like distract or something.
Yeah, he does.
Could I give him my inspiration?
Yes, you could.
Yeah, he does.
I suppose.
Or you could
try
aid to give someone else advantage on the next attack if you like.
Is Rob going to go before the Black Numenorian?
No, Black Numenorian goes next.
Oh. Can I give the aid to Elwyn?
She went already and she hit.
Oh.
Sorry.
Who can I
She's
aid?
been awesome.
Who can I aid?
I mean, you could aid any of them, like maybe Callis, since he'll go after the Numenorian.
Right.
Or help me with my con save that I'm inevitably going to have to take.
Can I help with that?
I actually no, I don't think you can't do it with that, can you? No, never mind.
I try and aid him by maybe trying to like grapple the guy or wedge him, wedge my axe into it, open an armor plate or something to give the elf a better chance to hit, seeing the arrows seem to be doing well.
No problem. Okay. The Numenorian is going to try and strike you down, Farath.
Here we go.
He misses with the Morgul blade,
Oh, okay.
but he hits with the other.
Yeah. It is safe to say.
12 damage.
Yeah. Where does it hit me, Lloyd?
I think it'll hit you as you lift your blade up. It'll catch you under.
Okay. So as Faroth is almost trying to basically go for one final lunge, the Numenorian is there grinning, and Faroth basically just finds himself run through into this blade, and his eyes are just wide as he feels his life's blood draining from him, and he slumps to his knees and then just collapses on the floor in front of the Black Numenorian.
Burzalog, emboldened by this, is going to try and strike at you, Syrian. Oh, but he fucks it up. And Callus, it's your turn.
Okay.
Hmm.
23 to hit.
That's a hit.
Was that with the advantage I gave you?
Oh, you gave me advantage?
Yeah.
Just in case you crit.
No, I got that upped it 3. That's 11 points of damage.
The arrow catches the Numenorian in the face, in the eye. And he stands there for a second, looking around, dumbstruck. He grabs the arrow and he snaps it, but then he begins to wheeze. And with a bang of explosion of energy, the armor tumbles to the ground, and this black sort of smoke basically vanishes up into the air, up through the room. Caius, you can see it vanish up past you as you're in that room, and somewhere far away. Burzalog is knocked to the ground by this. You are not. Is knocked to the ground with the explosion and falls down these stairs. And you can see upstairs, Caius, that the orc just falls to his knees and clutches at his head, roaring in pain. All the orcs on the ground do the same thing. It seems to have affected them badly. So for all intents and purposes, we're out of combat.
Yes. I love to think that it was as Faroth was falling, the arrow went over his shoulder.
Yes.
My God. That was perfect.
So I think we'll end it there, and we'll pick up next time to see how you get out of this place, and if you get out of this place alive.
Absolutely fantastic, Lloyd. That was incredible.
Cyneric just drops to the floor exhausted and is crawling over to Pharos, trying to keep him alive.
So thank you very much to all of my players. I hope you had a good time, and thank you for watching if you did. Cheers.